bloody good, Phil Hurden. Oh, Harry Prosser gets dropped! The excitement is building, the crowd is here.
Oh, why not, mate?
Well, good day, footy fans, and welcome to Brighton Oval for round 5 in the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 season. On the field, they work as a well-coached team, yet they never get a kick. But without them, neither would anyone else. Today, we recognise some critical people in every footy game and every footy league. Today, it's Umpire Appreciation Round. Always appreciated our filming footy sponsors, Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, Nearmouth Mouthguards, Hahn and Sportal, Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Coming up, it's the Brighton Bombers hosting the Payneham Norwood Union Falcons, well managed by our umpiring crew. Thanks to filming footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League. Welcome back. A blue sky but windy afternoon here at Brighton Oval, round 5 in the Adelaide Footy League. My name's Phil Hurden. My co-commentator Adam Jeffries is on assignment. Been told might have a special guest, or I might be calling this game solo. Who knows? We'll find out soon.
Phil.
Oh no! Oh no! Of all the co-commentators, Sean Jacko Jackson, welcome.
Thanks, Phil.
Hey,
Great to be back. I
well,
was just driving past and I saw the light on. I heard you were short.
don't tell me you're an early mid-season coaching casualty.
No, there's been 3 that have fallen on the sword this week, hasn't there? But I'm luckily not one of them at this stage. But we do have a bye this week, and so I thought it'd be great to catch up. And someone told me that you were flying solo. So what better way to spend a Saturday afternoon than out at beautiful Brighton Oval? Looking forward to it, Phil.
Yeah, looking forward to spending an afternoon here, Jacko. So, have you done any research? What do you know about today's game?
Payneham versus Brighton at Brighton Oval. No, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing Matthew Nunn play. Haven't seen him play in the Ammos before. I know he's been in good touch. My old neighbour's son, Brad McKenzie, playing as well for Payneham. And as far as Brighton goes, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you, Phil. Who have you got for me at Brighton?
Well, neither are they at the moment. They did win one great game. We were here a couple of weeks ago. Good final quarter comeback to beat Golden Grove, but a bit wayward last week. Actually, both teams were. So all your goal-kicking analysis might just come to the fore this afternoon. On what is, look, it's a beautiful day, but the wind, you're going to have to negotiate.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a breeze. The ground's in pretty good condition. Look, I don't think anyone could complain about the weather with footy this year, can they? 5 games in and there's not been a drop of rain. The grounds are all a little bit hard, but they're all in really ripping condition. So I did have a quick look at the scores for both sides, and there hasn't been a lot of goals kicked. I'm hoping today, beautiful ground, there's a bit of open footy and we can get excited by some goals being kicked, Phil.
Well, goals or no goals, with Jacko in town, it's going to be an exciting broadcast. We'll bring it to you after the break.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Blue sky day, bit of cloud, but it's pretty blustery today. And we're on top of the balcony. Phil Hill and Sean Jacko Jackson back. Really excited about this, Jacko. How are you finding the coaching caper?
Good, yeah. That's the best way to describe it, Phil. It's challenging.
It's always interesting, isn't it?
It's always interesting. It consumes a fair bit of your time when you're coaching, unlike commentating. Well, I know you're always well prepared, but I never was. But,
well, you have all the natural instincts and the networks.
But it's it does consume a lot of time, Phil. It's rewarding at times and frustrating at other times. But I'm looking forward to not coaching today and just sitting here and calling the game with you and watching a good game of footy.
Yeah, going to be an interesting match. Brighton with 1 win, Payneham with 2. Neither side really convincing so far. It's one of those where whoever wins, you wouldn't be greatly shocked.
No, we are where we're sitting or standing is a bit of a Arctic park, but out on the ground it's a little bit blustery, but not as bad as it is up here. It's like a wind tunnel where we are standing.
I would say Kingston South East would get pretty cool in the June, July, wouldn't it?
It certainly is windy down at Kingston, that is for sure.
All right, let's get into the teams. We'll start with let's have a look at the ladder first, just to show Payneham after their win last week against St Peter's. Are in the 5 with a 2-2 record with Broadview, Prince Alfred. Brighton are at the bottom of a pack of 1 and 3, but as expected this time of year, 4th to 9th, pretty much a log jam, 1 win and a bit of percentage between them.
Yeah, I think that table will change a fair bit between now and the end of the year, and we all understand that injuries play a big part, but Golden Grove came up into Division 1 this year and we expected, I guess, that they would be great right off the bat, and they've struggled a little bit early, but you know their full forward from last year hasn't played a game yet, and their centre half forward was injured as well. So both those lads due to come back into the side shortly, and I think they'll make a big difference to Golden Grove, and you'll see them. I would expect to see them into the 5 by the end of the year.
Yeah, and St Peter's, who might be at the bottom, we've seen them a couple of times. Every outing they've been competitive. It's not an old Ignatians of 2023. Yeah. It's going to be a battle every single game this year, so those teams on 1 winning would be feeling a little nervous at this point, trying to clear that zone. On to Brighton, officially the Brighton District's BDOS, a merger of the footy club, goes back to 1885, and the high school, which makes those games against Sacred Heart all the more interesting. Southern Footy League had some great success there, joined the league in 2017, where they won an A-grade flag in Div 3 starting out. Fair bit of change at Brighton, mainly in the facilities. You would have come down here back in the day when it was one big grandstand and a single-story club room. Our setup here is, well, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great precinct, isn't it? Really, it's just not football. It's, you know, we've got the rugby over there in front of us. Or was that lacrosse actually in front of us?
Yeah.
And behind us, we've got the rugby. It's done a fantastic job, the council and the Brighton sporting community, to put on what would be the envy of a lot of clubs, I think. One of the guys I'm looking forward to seeing playing for Brighton today, Phil, is Will Rivers, Buckets, probably one of the most celebrated players in the history of the Brighton Footy Club. Spent a couple of years, last 2 years, down at Pathway in the KNTFL. He's back this year, Big Buckets, and I think he'll be a very handy inclusion for Brighton.
Yeah, and having a look at that record, did play finals in 2020, 6 or 7 wins, 7th or 8th position. They're either going to jump up and be finals contender. They don't have too far to slip to maybe get relegated.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that will give them a little bit of peace of mind when you look at that record over the last, 5 years, they've won 7 games in every one and 6 in one. So it's not like they've been just getting by with 2 or 3 wins. So they're not far off playing finals footy. I mean, you've only got to get 9 wins and you're playing finals, aren't you? So they're 2 wins short every year. But the concerning thing for me, looking at them over the last 3 years, it's been consistent in that position. So they're just avoiding relegation. So something we'll give at some stage if they can hang in and develop the young talent that they've got down here and find some recruits, well, then maybe they'll start to see a rise up the ranks. But at the moment, again, this season, they're locked in down the bottom end of the table at early days, aren't they?
Yeah. And the team, Will Rivers, you mentioned someone to look for. Cheeseman Dutton at the moment, an emergency. Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cock, plenty of energy up forward. Jack Plenty got plenty of the ball last time we were here 2 weeks ago. The one that got to miss is Jarman Segal. Every time we saw him in recent years, he's been a target. But he's got high duties with the Crows in the SANFL.
Yeah, I love watching him play. He's a really good intercept mark. So disappointed that he isn't playing today. But another fella, Shane Harvey, always plays well when we call these games. I've got a feeling he might have left the club last year, went and played in another company's back this year. So that's, again, a good recruit back in for Brighton this year. So always gives them plenty of speed on the wing, doesn't he, Shane Harvey?
He does. So the 4 changes. Tom Wellesby, who's also a favourite of ours, is back in with Chris Broadbent, Tynan Book and Aaron Warner. So just to note, we do have Book and Reid in the Brighton side. We hope they'll combine at some point this afternoon. Let's switch over to Payneham Norwood Union, merger of Payneham and Norwood Union, 2 clubs that go back to the start of the 20th century. 6 premierships, including the first Div 1 flag in 2019, and their women's also won that year. Only with Broadview and Golden Grove have teams in Div 1 in both the men's and women's competition. So good to see them back. Always think of Payneham Norwood Union as a traditional Division 1 club.
Yeah, and I think a little adjunct to that, Phil, is you could put Gary McIntosh as probably the only person I know that's coached the A grade, the B grade and the women's at the one club.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know if anyone else has done that, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't been done before. So fantastic effort. And look, they've been a great, proud club for a long time, haven't they, Payneham Norwood Union? They've got their challenges this year. First year up in Division 1. It's not going to be easy for them. They're in 5th spot at the moment. They're 2 wins and 2 losses, so it's not a bad effort. Early days.
Yeah, and they're certainly blooding some new players. I've already got 8 of today's team weren't playing for them last year, at least at A grade level. You can see there the premiers in 2019 and that COVID season, well, 4 and 5 not a woeful record, just everyone was pretty log-jammed in that short season. Runners-up in 2021 and then kabang, relegated 2022. Quick rebound, lost to Golden Grove, who didn't in last year in the grand final, and so they're back in action. The Falcons team, 3 changes coming in. I can give you some numbers for those. Frank Lapoe, number 19, Frank Packer, number 11, and Jordan Shirley, number 13. All debutants. One who's come through the ranks, played reserve season under 17 last year. That's Lapoe. Frank Packer from Spock, Jordan Shirley from Kangarilla. But there's still a Giannini there for you.
Yeah, no John Giannini, which is disappointing for me. I had a quick look actually this morning just to see how long he's been playing in the A grade at Payneham, and I think it was from 2017, so 7 years at Payneham now, so his experience will be sorely missed. Interesting one, Frank Packer, I'm assuming that's from he's from the Packer family, who are St. Peter's stalwarts, so he would have, they certainly would have been disappointed to lose him. Brad McKenzie, handy player, 50 games of AFL footy in their side, gives them a bit of experience at the top end. Sanzo, the captain, also a good touch. Jack Hodges, I'm looking forward to seeing him play, and as I mentioned in the intro, Matthew Nunn has been taking it all before him. It is an indictment on the SANFL to see, I've had this discussion with someone this morning, to see someone like Matthew Nunn, who was an SANFL premiership captain only 2-3 years ago, and he's 26 years of age, in the prime of his footy playing days, to not be playing in that competition and be playing. Hey, great pickup for Payneham, no question. But it just it makes me worry about where the SANFL is at, Phil.
Yeah, especially with veteran players. We've got an Eagles player, Matthew Goldsworthy, today playing his 250th game.
Yep.
Lad from the CMS Crows, and the conjecture around SANFL circles is, well, that's quite a milestone that we may not see too many times in the future, being able to commit that much for that long.
Well, I think he's one of only 2 players, Justin Sikalella being the other one, who's played 250 games for Woodville West Torrens.
Yep.
And you're right, I don't think we'll see a lot of that again in the future, because you know what happens now, Phil, that never used to happen? Players get married in the middle of a season, and they get married in Europe.
Now, what would you have
teammates.
done back in your, I'm not saying you're not in your coaching prime now, but you have to adjust, but back in your old school coaching situation, if you had a player said, Coach, I'm away for a couple of weeks, not only am I getting married, but I'm going to take a honeymoon as well.
Well, it's not even, I mean, that hurts you. Players get married in footy season, no question. I remember Russell Ebert telling me that the great Russell Ebert is no longer with us. He didn't go to his own brother's wedding in football season because of footy. And now we've got players getting married, and then the worst part is, okay, you want to go and get married, terrific, but then you invite half of the side to go and watch you, and you get married in Europe.
Hey, look, if you want to get married, fine, but you're going to get married on Sunday.
Yes, or Thursday. Or
That's exactly right. Oh, modern football, where are we at? The B grade has just concluded. You would have heard the siren there. Pretty comfortable win. That's 2 comfortable wins to Payneham Norwood Union. In the Bs, Payneham Norwood Union 13-10, 88. Brighton 5-5-35. By my maths, 53 points. Not as much as it was in the C's. Payneham Norwood Union 15-16, 106. Defeated Brighton Bombers 3-3-21. An 85-point margin in the C's. So Payneham going for the triple today. We did have a graphic up about other games. Might go back to that. Get your thoughts on the competition. I've got to get as much out of you today as I can, Jacko.
I can't tell you if it's coming
for your
from
one game only
knowledge, but happy to have a look at it, Phil.
So our other games on this round.
Umpire
We've got our umpires. We do have to approve. We'll talk about umpiring for a
We
sec.
have to appreciate them as they come on, don't we?
Yes, we do. Well, we are, of course, members. I think we could almost join the past umpiring club.
Still
you and
have
I.
my green shirt at home,
That-
proudly.
That day is one we will never forget, and neither will the 2 teams. Liam Bidding and Dennis Chester are the 2 field umpires. Hamish Franklin and Henry Gallen, the boundary umpires, and Jason Rigg and Annette Greenshields, the goal umpires. And Jacko, I fully appreciate that you would have had your certain interactions with umpires through the days, but you've also seen them at all levels. Don't have a game without them, and they're a team within a team, very much.
Absolutely, Phil. I am always astonished when I go to the footy and see spectators abusing umpires, and like it's their God-given right because they've paid their $10 to get in, or would here today. No one's paid anything to get in, and yet there'll be people who think it's their right to vent their frustration on umpires. It's not an easy job. That's what people need to understand. If you haven't done it before, have a go.
Talk to Colin Ralston, and Colin will arrange something for you.
Yes, correct. It is not an easy job, and it is not an exact science.
No, it's not.
And that's why we get people yelling, holding the ball and holding the man at the same time. So, yeah, please, for everyone out there, give the umpires some respect. We appreciate. Without them, we don't get to play a great game.
Yeah. Joining us a little later will be Lockie Gould. He's out waiting for the coin toss. When the captains approach, we will go down to Lockie Beach and see what he thinks the wind is worth this afternoon. Up here, I'd say it's a fair advantage to the left of screen.
Tell you what it's worth up here, Phil. It's worth putting a jumper on. That's what
it
it's
is
worth
definitely
up here.
jumper weather. But the main thing, looking out the back, I keep looking out the back, no rain on the way. But I don't know if it's ever going to rain in Adelaide ever again.
It's starting to look a bit dry, the dams, and
I'm having to water the lawns in May. That's very, very weird.
you know it's the driest period in 100 years, last 3 months.
Yeah.
The least amount of rainfall over the last 3 months in 100 years. Staggering.
So,
Talk about the coaches for a minute, Phil. Brett Backwell now been here for probably his fourth year, I would have thought. And Jeremy Cheney at Payneham for his 3rd year. Yeah, 3rd year. Yep.
Yes.
So both experienced coaches. Have spent some time at different levels in the SANFL. Both will be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing whether there's anything specific in their game plans that separates one from the other. In traditionally of Mouse's teams, Brett Backwell's teams, have been pretty defence focused, and judging by the scores I've seen on Payneham this year, they haven't had too many high-scoring games either. So hopefully that's not the case, Phil. I hope we see some nice free-spinning, free-wheeling. What we want to see is goals kicked, Phil. Goals!
That's exactly right. Well, the captains are coming in for the coin toss.
Yeah.
So we might go down to our banjo rider this afternoon, Lachlan Gould. Take it away, Lockie.
Yeah, boys, it's a very, very warm day today as we begin this coin toss. Just waiting to see. Everyone's been pulled over. Captains have met in the middle. And it has gone the way of the Brighton Footy Club. Carthy's winning that one. And today, it's very, very warm, as I've already said. It's lovely, lovely weather down here. The ground is a little bit muddy in the centre, but it's perfect just about everywhere else. The wind, as you said, it's going to blow right behind me towards the Brighton Metro sign down there. And it's going to be a really, really great game of football. My prediction today, I'm going to back the Brighton Bombers because they're at home. Thank you very much, guys. And back to you in the commentary box.
Thanks for that, Lockie. He says it's warm.
Very,
okay.
very warm. He's got a different spin on it from where he's standing, hasn't
I was
he?
about to say, he's got the polo on, and he's saying it was warm in the middle.
Well,
so we are in a wind tunnel.
It must be reasonably warm because Big James has still got the Goldsboro Morts on.
Yeah, that's true.
He's strutting the shorts out.
Yeah, that was always a cardinal rule in Sandford days. Never, ever go to Noarlunga in shorts.
Yes. Looks like we're going to have the players lined up for the umpire appreciation round, Phil.
So, yep, there'll be a...
Shaking of hands.
Yes, this is going to be a well-coordinated drill.
This is where a smart club, Phil, has a $20 note in their hand when they shake the umpire's hands.
So the visiting team, so the home team shakes the umpire's hands, then the visiting club, and then the visiting club comes through and shakes the umpire's hands. So everyone
and
gets...
every player. Good
every
heavens,
player.
I'm not sure I could have done that before I played.
Yeah. So you give a $20 note to the umpires. What would you give to your opponent?
I can't answer that, Phil, on the grounds that we may be off the air.
It's a family-friendly broadcast.
We've got a range of sizes in amongst our umpiring fraternity too, and lovely to see a female goal umpire today too.
I mean, that's part of it. Umpiring can be for everyone. I mean, you and I are different shapes and sizes, and we had Tony Neal with us as well.
Yep.
That historic day at Unley Oval for a C-grade game. And and as a player that the bones are getting a bit much, umpiring is a way to get definitely involved, and you get the best seats in the house. So not too far away from this one, Brighton. That to me, Jacko, is a pretty important toss to win.
Yeah, it does feel fairly significant, the breeze, doesn't it? And you would know it inside out if you've been playing here for a while, as quite a few of our Brighton players have. It'll be interesting. I hope they didn't get away to a start like Port Power last night, Phil. 5 or 6, was it, on the board before?
Well, Brighton need to. They haven't won a first quarter. They've been playing from behind each and every week. They did manage a comeback against Golden Grove. That was our broadcast game. They were about 3 goals down at one point. The other games might get your thoughts. It's going to be I reckon this might be game of the round. Broadview have won the last 2 at Broadview Oval, their wonderful new complex, hosting the unbeaten Sacred Heart.
Yeah, that should be a cracking game. I tend to think Broadview will also be there at the pointy end of the season. They've had a bit of a bad run early with injuries, and also had most of their players in the Crows top-up side. In saying that, Sacred Heart have come out firing right from the word go, so I am going to pick Sacred Heart in that one, Phil.
All right. Port District holding... me... I'll go with Sacred Heart. Port District, only because I've seen them, I haven't seen Broadview yet. Yep. Port District and Golden Grove. Golden Grove trying to avoid a hat-trick of losses. Port District look to be around the mark again this season.
It's not always about talent, is it? But if it was, you'd give the premiership to Port Districts right here and right now, and we could all go and do something else on our sad days, Phil. But that's the beauty of footy. It doesn't always go that way, but I think Port Districts will win that one.
Oh, and just a sneaky game we got this weekend, a rematch of last year's grand final sides, Glenunga and Prince Alfred at Webb Oval. You'd say Glenunga would be pretty strong favourites to get whatever revenge you get out of winning the next matchup after a grand final.
Yeah, well, it's probably not about revenge really when you're playing in the minor round, but certainly Glenunga have started the year exceptionally well, and full credit to Nathan Grimer. I think he's the best coach in the Adelaide Footy League, with his ability to be able to draw the most out of his players. Every year, across the last 3 years, they've lost multiple players at the end of the season. We think, oh, they're going to fall away, but they don't. They keep improving. So.
Okay. Last one, Spock and Tea Tree Gully. St. Peter's very close to a first win. They're at home against one-win Gullies. This is the day they do it.
Tea Tree Gully for me there, Phil.
Okay, and that leaves this one, the Bombers at home against the Falcons, a game either side could win. We've had 20 minutes to think about it. What have you come up with?
I think Payneham get the chocolates here, Phil.
Yep, you and I are in agreement on that one, so about to get underway. And umpire throwing it up right in the middle. We're using the middle circle. Well, Lockie said there's a little bit of mud. Must have used the sprinklers during the week, because we surely haven't had any rain. Maybe it's actually that the ground, especially the middle, might need a little bit of softening up. It is Payneham with the clearance. This is Matty Nunn getting an early touch. 4 games, 4 runs in the best players. An early candidate for the league best and fairest. And we've got a Falcons free kick.
I think you find that's Blake Dodson with the ball, Phil. He's actually a relief teacher or a trainee teacher down at Kingston at the moment. So
you should get him to help with your coaching down there during the week.
Blake, if you're watching this in replay, feel free to get a transfer for the next 6 weeks while you're living in Kingston.
So placement or
just a trainee teacher,
I think.
Yeah. Tough kick this one into the breeze.
Well, we'll get to understand a fair bit of the breeze and how much it can just lead to an absolute sinker 10 metres out. That kick went 35 metres, if that.
Yeah.
And a man who I saw last week kicked them a fair way, so.
Really held up in the breeze, didn't it? Yeah, I think you've got to go a bit flatter with the ball to that end of the ground, which is the southern end.
Tap down by Hodges, almost Spence running onto it. And in the end, another scrimmage will ensure.
Interesting to read this week that a few AFL dignitaries are pressing for some changes to the rules to try and reduce the density, as Payneham have a crack round the corner. I think he's kicked that, has he?
No, he's missed.
Matty Nunn on the left foot.
Yes, missed.
Should have kicked it. Yeah,
well, it was obviously not 15 to be awarded the mark. It was the kick from Giannini right to him. The goal umpire saw that it went the other side of the post. Do have a score. It's 1-0 Falcons. Brighton yet to make any use of the breeze. They're about to right now.
Wow.
That's lobbed in the tea saucer. It's gone out the back. It's about to be a kick from the goal square inside 50, if you don't mind. How often have you seen that?
That's clean bowled 3 players, Phil.
Yeah.
Bit of heat on that wind.
Yeah, not wrong. So Brighton's first inside 50. Going in the ruck is Dixon. And pass that Lachlan Johncock to a reasonably open forward line. Payneham have some space. The kick though, held up and Brighton have intercepted. They'll go again. That's the kick of Tarka. And 30 metres out, there'll be our first stoppage.
Yeah, he was looking for Tom Wellesby there, wasn't he? We've seen Wellesby play some good footy here.
Yeah, first game back in the league side this year.
Right, okay. Been injured, has he, Phil?
Yeah, well, didn't see him in the reserves list. Actually, no, he was 4th best, 2 goals. That was his first game back in the reserves. So, educated guess says injured, came back through the resis, ready to go at A grade.
Or an overseas wedding.
Or an overseas wedding, you never know, do you?
Let's don't keep labouring that point, but anyone considering it, please don't.
Yeah. Well, when I got married, we had to negotiate. All our family were teachers, and I married a Tasmanian, and we lived in Brisbane.
Okay.
So we had to negotiate what Saturday in September did all 3 school holidays match.
Yeah,
for
right.
Everybody to be there.
Bit of confusion amongst the umpires. Good to see them all converse there, though. We had the boundary umpire, the goal umpire, and the field umpire all come together to make that decision. And what a beautiful waving of the flag too by our goal umpire there, Phil.
You're on your best behaviour, Jack. Good to see. You know, certainly they are a team, and good to see them work, and we've got ourselves a tied ball game. Payneham Norwood Union, they don't have the ability to go one kick to the middle, but they've run it out beautifully well. This is with Jacob Campbell in his second game. Again, puts it high, it sinks around the Blake Dodson area, and Dodson's going to get himself another free kick, I think.
Yeah, it was a beautiful transfer of play, wasn't it, from the kick in at out the far side of the ground. Matty Nunn involved. Just thought
Well,
they hugged
that's
the boundary beautifully and
how
kept
you-
the ball low.
How you move the ball into the wind.
Yeah. Just the last kick was probably the one that you're hoping it stays down, but sometimes you can be lucky with that quick kick into the forward line, and Blake Dodson was at the front of the pack and earned himself a free kick, so he's a little bit closer than his last kick. Phil, will he make the distance?
It'll be right on his range from 40, and it's going to land on the goal line. And whenever I see that in the footy I call, be it here or Sandford or other, I always think of you with kicks like that, Jacko, because you always talk about if you kick a goal, kick it. If you're not going to make the distance,
Lay it up.
lay it up.
Correct. Out they come now, Brighton. Chance for Wellesby. We mentioned him earlier. It now goes in the direction of Harvey, the speedster. Puts the ball out in front of Jack Chalmers. Normally good by foot. That's no exception. Almost marked by Jake Tarker. But unfortunately not able to hold the ball. And again, Payneham, good in defence. Held up well. Their back line, it's only 7 minutes in, I think. 6 minutes in.
I'm just having a look around. Brighton have a spare player back in defence, so I assume Brighton do as well. Just haven't picked them up.
That's interesting, isn't it? Probably the best credentialed player in the league. Matty Nunn coming off for his first rotation at the, what is that, less than 6 minutes, Phil? 5.5 minutes.
The kick is smothered and just over the line. Oh, that could have been very dangerous. And that was...
Is that Venning? Sam Venning?
I've got an 8. Oh, that's Rivers. Of course it is.
Oh,
Will
Buckets,
Rivers, who
Rivers
was in
up
everything
forward.
in the second half 2 weeks ago in the win over Golden Grove. Payneham trying to centre it. Harvey's there getting another early touch onto Matty Reid. Where's Book? Not on this occasion. Gets it on to Bennett. Bennett inside forward 50. One-on-one contest 40 metres out. Into some space is Chalmers. Manages to get booed on ball. A little bit of a cross breeze as well. That's fortunately a wasted opportunity. Rudy Savalas, I've been told, just like old Terry back in the day. Kojak.
Yeah, Terry Savalas, yeah. No relation, I would imagine, or certainly can't see a lollipop
Great-great-grandson, maybe?
Wouldn't mind. That's a beautiful kick coming out of defence. Yeah, they've really worked that side of the ground well, Payneham. It's an obvious game plan for them to work the far side of the ground as, again, Blake Dodson swings around the body, goes forward. Not Ricky O'Loughlin, Ben Owen Thomas. Ben Owen Thomas, ex-Pembroke, or Olding Nations player, I believe.
Very good, Jacko. Yes.
Olding Nations,
Yes,
was it?
Old Iggies.
Yeah. So we've got a ball up just inside the centre square area for Brighton. Payneham, I believe.
So 7 minutes gone, not goal kicked yet. Brighton, although they're kicking... So Payneham, although they've going into the breeze, have had probably more chances than Brighton. We'll go to Lockie Gould down on the boundary at the next stoppage.
Beautiful punch, wasn't it, there by Jack Keynes. He really made mincemeat of that one.
Hand pass missed the target, so the Bombers have to go back. Now they've got some numbers to clear. Chalmers, again, not sure if he's got an opponent at the moment. Twice he's been in space. Puts it out in the path of Ty Murphy. The Bombers heading for that boundary line. Last disposal rule that we Payneham ball. Quickly, let's go boundary side to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, the Payneham benches are absolutely singing the praises at the minute of Blake Dodson. Incredibly happy with how he's going at the moment, boys. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lachlan. Yeah, Police Credit Union giving us all the boundary crosses, and great to have Lachlan on board this year. Certainly where we are high up on the back, and he's seeing some stuff that we're not today. Getting a pretty good view of that one. Jack Keynes, the mark. Did he run himself into trouble? No.
He's a likely type, isn't he, Jack Keynes?
Yep.
What's his story, Phil? I'm not sure. Has he been at Brighton for long?
Recruited from Langhorne Creek, originally from the AFL factory of Drummoyne in Sydney. All those past play references brought to you by Play HQ, which is slowly getting the hang of, like everybody else in the country. Kelly's kick inside 50, just on the edge. Brighton should have some numbers. Here comes some cavalry for Payneham Norwood Union. Was he pushed in the back? Chris Danzig. Umpire letting it go. Finlay Bennett with the kick, and we're playing between the 50s at the moment.
Yeah, good mark by Brad McKenzie there. Left footer. There goes short. keeps the ball inside the centre square to the veteran, Anthony Giannini, who spends a bit of time in the off-season playing in Darwin.
Waratahs, I think.
Or Banks, I think it is.
Banks?
Yeah, he now
Okay.
goes to half forward again, that same side of the ground. It's obvious ploy on their behalf, and Brighton conversely want to try and bring the ball this side, so the breeze is obviously going to the right-hand pocket for Brighton. Again, Payneham good in defence, aren't they? They've been really good back there. Move the ball on quickly.
They've got the loose number. They've got 3 loose players here.
Yeah,
Should
good
be able
support.
to clear.
Good
Front of
support.
our Hans Sportal scoreboard. Not getting a lot of love at the moment. 2 behinds each.
Yeah, now it's Finlay Bennett who puts the ball in long. He was looking for, who that was up there in the forward line, Phil? Was that
Might
big
have
Nick
been,
Kelly?
Yeah, also no Osborne this week for Brighton. So Osborne and Segal, they're 2 key players.
Yeah, also the full forward for Payneham not playing, Viney. Haven't seen
Yeah,
him.
he wasn't playing last week either.
Right, okay. So both sides got some injury
So the
problems
3
early in the year.
outs for Payneham this week: Steer, Rahul and Sparkle. Coming in on debut, Lapoy, Packer and Shirley.
Chris Broadbent around the corner, hugs the boundary line. Payneham again, first to the footy, and that's been symptomatic of what we've seen so far. The Payneham defenders are all hitting the ball first. The Brighton getting caught on their heels a little bit. And it's not the side of the ground they want to be at the moment, Brighton.
Probably not the most exciting 10.5 minutes of footy of the season so far. Bennett's getting plenty of touches. This one's in 50. Tries the worm burner kick. It's a hot footy about 40 metres out. Brighton did get out a handball. Again, that's Bennett. He's been bumped off the ball big time by a Falcon. High kick. You can see the wind take it, but it'll end up being a very effective one. Now the Falcons going forward, looking and, well, not finding in the end Hodges.
Been threatening Jack Hodges, hasn't he? He's had a few balls directed in his way, just hasn't been able to clunk them, but it is a difficult win. And now out the far side of the ground, Bright. Notice Carthy, the skipper, puts the ball in long, probably looking for Wellsby. Wasn't able to get there, and again, Paynham's defence, like the Rock of Gibraltar, Phil, if you've ever been there.
No, but I use the term a lot, but
I went there for the first time last year.
there's not much of it, is there?
No,
that's not rock.
No, it's a small town. It's a fascinating place to visit, though, for all our viewers if you haven't
How's
been
your
there.
Spanish?
Ole. That's all I'm giving you at this stage.
We will go, Lachlan. We will go to you at the next break, but it might be quarter time the way this game is just sitting between the 50s with intercept marks. Will Rivers, he gets the pass on to Blake Higgins. That looks a beautiful kick. Wellsby just stood there. Ball came to him.
So they'd be filthy on that Payneham. So the game plan is obviously to play the far side. That's the first time they've brought the ball this side of the ground out of defence, and this is the result. Brighton in good position, turn it over, slingshot it back in. Wellsby unmanned, direct in front of goal. Shouldn't miss this to give Brighton the first goal of the day. And he makes no mistake, and that's where coaches get dirty with players when, you know, they have an opportunity to hold the ball up a little bit. We're going to
Let's
Lockie.
go down to Lockie. We'll get your thoughts when we come back.
Yeah, boys, just something to keep in mind. The Brighton staff, they're going to throw a few magnets around. One of those magnets is going to be Jack Francis is going to go down and play forward for a couple minutes. And I haven't been to the Rock of Gibraltar either, just tuning in on the earlier conversation.
You got to get there, Lockie. You got to get there at some stage, mate.
Very interesting place.
English colony still in the middle of Spain. It's
Yeah, they still
bizarre.
participate in the Commonwealth Games.
They
Well, actually,
use-
they might last longer than the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, they use English currency there too. So
Yeah.
when you're across the border and use,
It's got a tiny little airport.
yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway, we're back into the centre, and
Jacko's travels.
it's the first goal of the game to Brighton.
Yep, and they needed that. You would not want to be goalless when you're kicking with, I think this is a 3 to 4 goal breeze.
Jack
From what it
Hodges
feels
doing
like
the
up
ruck
here.
work now for Payneham, Phil.
Yeah, and it's going to be Catalano with the kick right in front of us. That's Wagner, was so busy. Got it on to Hodges. Here's a chance for Payneham to go deep inside 50. Costanza's kick has overshot Kelly. Was Kelly held on to? That's the verdict from our umpiring crew. And not given back in the proper way.
Oh, you'd be disappointed about that.
Well, with this breeze, anything more than 25 is no given. But on the goal line, Just don't hit the silver car parked behind the netting, please.
He makes no mistake, Phil. Nick Kelly.
Nick Kelly evens it up. Well, one goal at least on the board each. It is Brighton with a 1 point lead, 139. Payneham Norwood Union 128. And again, I love our Hans Sportal scoreboard. Not quite sure about the, let's go with the fireworks and the goal at the one time you want to actually check it.
The scoreboard?
Just a little thing.
Well, hard to see the scoreboard from here, Phil. It's not a Sportal, that is for sure. We are 14:40 into the first quarter and nothing in it, which suggests to me that Payneham would be pretty happy with the way they are travelling in the minute. But now a chance for Brighton out of the centre square through the skipper, Otis Carthy. Long towards Wellsby's in front this time. Can they make something out of this forward entry? They can. That's a beautiful crumb by Jake Tarker, but unfortunately not able to swing the ball. And I guess you get a good look at that breeze, that kick there, Phil. Wasn't able to turn that around at all, and that's why they're playing again. Not to labour the point, but that's why they're playing this side of the ground. But it's difficult when you play the left flank if you've got a lot of right footers in your team going against your natural kick. It'll be easier for...
Meanwhile, there's a slight issue getting the ball back. It's gone halfway down Highgate Street.
Yeah, beautiful picket fence around the
ground
here, isn't it?
Glorious setting.
Seaton Ramblers are keen to try and put a white picket fence around their ground.
I haven't seen. Is their club rooms done?
Just about finished. Looks very nice.
Golden Grove's not far from being done. It's
Port Districts have now touted to build a new. So there's some money being spent by the local and state governments and our footy clubs.
Good to see the upgrade in facilities, especially now with the women's footy and all the juniors. You do need to have those extra change rooms and the ability maybe an extra oval would be handy as well.
Interchange now. Chris Broadbent coming on for Brighton.
The changes.
Got a shot on goal, and again we see this is the second time in a row where a player has back chatted the umpire and given away. Now, in that case, it's probably only 20 metres. Certainly wasn't 50. Maybe it's 15.
25.
25 was it? Yeah, okay. But again, undisciplined both sides to give away and make almost certainties. And again, another one. So now we get a 50 metres.
Okay, so Jacko, if you're in the coaching booth of Payneham Norwood Union, what are you about to do?
Well, I'm pretty disappointed with Payneham there because they fought really well into the breeze, and then they score that goal and then they give that away.
Alrighty, let's go boundary side. Thanks to Police Credit Union. You're with Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, boys, I can tell you the coach of Payneham Union was not happy as that 25 metres was given away. His exact quote was, "Who ended up mouthing off there?" Meantime, as well, a couple other things to consider as well. Both teams are going to throw the magnets about here, just trying to feel each other out at the moment.
You calling him Bocker? Jeremy Cheney, while you're down there, Lockie, likes to be called Bocker. Bocker Cheney. He responds well to that. What do you call him?
Warning.
Cuffer-Cheney.
Coach is usually what I call him.
Call him what you like, except don't call me early in the morning or late for dinner. We're back into the centre bounce. Big Matthew Reid, he's a lump of a lad at this centre bounce against Hodges, who'll have his work cut out to try and compete into the breeze. Gets hand on it beautifully, though, doesn't follows his work up. That's what I like about Hodges. Great kick under pressure.
Are winning. I think they've won every centre clearance.
Yeah, and a one-handed mark taken by the orange boots there. I'm not sure it was a free kick in the end given to...
we got this is Frank Packer now.
Packer's wardrobes, Phil.
I always think of... Wasn't Frank Packer the father of Kerry?
Yeah, correct. He's come back, has he?
Yeah. Well, I reckon this could be first goal at A-grade level for the Falcons.
I don't think you make the distance, Phil.
Spent last year in the reserves of Spock. Distance will be a test. Oh, look at that.
And there's that kick, just goes, easily rushed through.
Yeah.
Would have gone better the top of square, Phil.
Yep.
Top of the goal square.
So it's Bombers by one straight goal on the Hans Sportal scoreboard. 2-3-15. Payneham Norwood Union 1-3-9. It's going to be like a cricket game. We've got to see both teams have a bat with this breeze. The last kick went to the tea saucer.
Oh dear, that's a great kick.
That's a fair way out. And again, they're going to have an inside 50 if they plan this right. No, they're not, because they're going to have a turnover. And Giannini's gone down low to get that one, and has he picked up a free in the process? No, going to be a ball up. Time on imminent, 40 seconds away. A low-scoring affair. And a dry but breezy Saturday afternoon down at Brighton Road.
Yeah, interesting. They came out from defence, the opposite side of the ground of what they've been playing, Phil. So maybe it's not set in stone that they'll play this side of the ground. It'll be interesting to see in the second quarter what both sides do. But predominantly they have played this, which is the western side of the ground as Brighton go around the corner now. Jake Tarker hugs the boundary line. Boundary umpire, who we appreciate very much, said, "Give me a go, boys. I'll sort this out."
You see the Falcons bench at the moment on the Brighton bench. Looking to get a couple of minutes. Otis Carthy, the captain, ready to come on, as is Ben Owen Thomas, as the Bombers go forward. And that's a good clunk.
That's a great catch. Just looking at that catch, I'd say, no, it's not. I think it's Dixon, Tim Dixon, down there. He must have come out of the ruck and gone forward, and Big Buckets must be having a spell, and that's a great catch. They did have a spare player there, Payneham. They'd be dirty that he wasn't able to make contact. When you've got a spare player in the back half, which is what they had then, I'm not sure what the player's name was, but you're relying on them to be able to come across and make contact with the ball, and he wasn't able to do that. In saying that, great catch by Timmy Dixon.
Yeah, he's used to playing for the Black and White, the Port Magpies. And he's drilled it, so the set shot, and we've got a uni number change, which is important because we need to get him right. Lachlan, what have you got for us?
Brighton Bombers, Dylan Draper isn't out there in the number 22, but however in the 30 is William Cheeseman Dutton.
Thanks for that. Yeah, well, Cheeseman Dutton was an emergency, and the Brighton team manager said, oh, he's playing, and then thought and said, oh, maybe he's not. And I thought, okay, we'll find out in due course. And thanks to Police Credit Union and Lachlan.
I think they should have a rule, if you're going to have a hyphenated name, that both names have to be short. Cheeseman Dutton's a fair handful, Phil.
I've seen worse.
No, true.
I mean, they're both two-syllable. What you do is you just don't get your Christian name said in. You just get the sort of the Christian name becomes the first name of the hyphen.
And Brighton not able to get clean possession of that one out of the centre square as the two ruckmen go again at it. Beautifully punched. Ends up in the hands of Ricky O'Loughlin. Johncock, he kicks long the full forward position. Big Buckets goes around the corner. Still looks in pretty good nick, Will Rivers.
He does. He is in good nick.
Yeah.
He is in good nick.
How old he is now, but he's certainly played. I remember picking a state side a few years ago and ringing a Brighton stalwart and asking
that's
them.
That's the one thing we haven't seen back at the Adelaide Footy League post-COVID yet, and that's a state game.
Yeah, well, I remember asking about Will Rivers, hadn't seen him play, and this bloke said to me, you're kidding, aren't you? He's the best player that's ever played for the Brighton Footy Club. Big rat on Big Buckets.
Yeah, there's been a few good ones over the time, that's for sure. Towards forward 50, Brighton defence have got this covered. So 13-point lead. If that holds, who's won the quarter, do you reckon, Jacko?
Oh, it's almost even. Almost even.
That's why I asked you, because I
look, the breeze feels like a 3-goal breeze, doesn't it? So, you know, on that basis alone, you say Brighton win the quarter because they're only 2 goals off the pace, but with a little bit of luck, they might have been, you know, a goal closer.
Yeah. Well, still a bit to play in this one. 23 minutes gone, a 4-goal quarter so far, so probably another minute or two. Brighton are advancing without actually getting any possessions, as it's Payneham Norwood Union just sending it forward.
Felix Scrimmager, lovely name for a footballer.
Yep. He's kicked though only as far as Brad McKenzie.
He looks like he's playing predominantly in the back half, yeah, and that's what you would do against the breeze, Phil, play an experienced player like that who's got that in his weaponry. One of the best left foot kicks you will see.
Not the easiest kick into the breeze. Went further than you think it did.
This is where you take your time, Phil. Work the ball slowly. Yeah. You're in no hurry. You're against the breeze. You want to burn the clock, kill the time. Matty Nunn does it beautifully.
And if you get a score, that's just an advantage.
Yeah, it's Tom Wagner. Again, should be looking for a kick on the 45, I think, Phil. Don't go down the middle. Not too bad, but all Brighton there in the back half and well marked by Tynan Book. He's easy to read, isn't he? Big Tynan.
He's that would be disappointing for the Falcons because they have that mark pretty much uncontested. Rivers gets the initial leap, goes back and gets it. Everyone wants ball on Savalas. I'm not sure he didn't dispose of it properly. I guess that will be Aaron Warner. He's got himself the footy.
Again, Payneham got numbers back behind the footy. And another fantastic mark taken by the big fella, Tim Dixon. Wheels around quickly. This will be Brad McKenzie territory here. Yep. Goes over his head, though. Ends up in the arms of Jake Tarker. And again, a little bit like his previous kick, Phil, around the corner on the right foot. Should have learned a little bit from the previous kick, not able to get it back on course. And again, another point puts Brighton to 3 goals 5.
Yep,
1 goal 3.
That's twice that Tarker's done that.
Yeah.
Give him another space for a third one and he'll stop the goal. So 14 points the margin. 26 minutes gone. That kick is going out on the full. No, it's not. It's going to stop. Fair enough. Well placed. But Brighton have it. Carthy just had to hesitate on the hand pass. And now saw the desperation dive to stop the free, but it was in vain. Let's go Bandrew side to Lockie Gould.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the foray into the front half of the ground. Where
the uncontested mark and Payneham scored 50.
To me, that was more of a case that he was the spare player, so the player just had to hold the ball up and try and kick it away from the spare.
Yeah. Make it at least an even contest.
Yep, beautiful handball.
That turned out to be a pretty good fumble to make, didn't it?
Yep.
Warner's kick in space for Hodges, though back first is Jack Loy. He's got a fair bit of support. Needs a good bounce, though, did Broadbent. Didn't get one. Falcons might steal the ball here. They do.
Made a meal out of that, Brighton, didn't they? Put themselves under all
Warner's
sorts of pressure.
hand pass missed the target. That hasn't helped. And not the most inspirational 30 seconds of footy we've seen today.
Maybe the breeze is playing a little bit of havoc over there, but it wasn't pretty. Big Jack Hodges done for pace in that occasion by Big Jack Loy. And I see that when he's coming out of the ruck, he's going deep forward. Both sides running with the same tactic there. Dixon for Brighton going deep forward and Hodges going deep forward for Payneham when they're coming out of the ruck.
So Bryson on the verge of leading at quarter time for the first time this season, actually working on having to play in front. Now that's
25, Phil. That's 25 for mine, has to be.
Yeah. Okay.
No 25 paid.
You've seen a few keep it out.
That's Matt.
In succession.
That's sorry to keep you up, Phil. That's Matthew Nunn there who copped that front. Watch what he does with this ball. Keeps it a little bit lower. Again, Brighton have the numbers in the air. What do they like when the ball hits the ground? Nice movement. Ends up with Jack Keynes. Kicks it around the corners. The spare from Brighton, for Payneham, Rudy to Savalas. How do you say it, Phil?
Savalas.
I like my Savalas with garlic sauce.
Yep. An extra onion.
Yes. Well, quarter time, an entertaining game. Certainly had its moments, that quarter, I thought, Phil. Both sides would be regretting a couple of the undisciplined mistakes they made.
Yeah.
Talk about the exit out of the back half.
A quarter where Brighton did enough with the breeze to have the lead they needed to have at quarter time. We'll take a break. We'll get a report from Lucky Gould and the Huddles. We'll get Jacko's analysis. I'll try and get some scores around the ground. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
been housemates for what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back to Brighton Oval, quarter time here in our game of the day. Let's go down to the huddles to Lockie Gould.
Yeah, boys, something to really consider. Brighton pretty happy with how they're going defensively at the minute. They're working really, really hard. They need the help with their midfielders there. That was the point that was brought on. Payneham, pretty happy. Contest, they think they're doing well to win it out the front of the contest. However, they're a little bit unhappy defensively as well. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Lockie. Jacko, your thoughts on that first quarter?
Yeah, an entertaining game. I guess both sides, for me, would have been a little bit disappointed with some of the undisciplined stuff that we saw. Both sides gave away 50-metre penalties that resulted in goals to the opposition. And when you've got a low-scoring game, it's the last thing you want to be doing, giving away 50 metres for arguing with the umpire. So at 50, that's two 25-metre penalties. That was costly. I thought Brighton perhaps didn't use the ball well enough going forward with the breeze. They did have an obvious game plan to play this side of the ground, the western side, and that was quite effective for them, but they weren't able to lock the ball in well enough in the front half of the ground. It just rebounded out too easily, and that was Payneham through Mackenzie and a few others who were very strong defensively. So now the game gets reversed, Phil, and Payneham will have use of the breeze. It will be interesting to see whether the tactics remain the same.
Well, the quarter time scores are in from around the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 and a couple of surprises. At Largs Reserve, Port District 21 lead Golden Grove 18, District by 3. At Kadira Oval, Tea Tree Gully 19 leads St Peter's 14, that's by 5 points. Nothing totally crazy there. At Glenunga, Prince Alfred 5-1-31, lead Glenunga 1-1-7.
Wow.
A 4-goal lead to Prince Alfred. And at Broadview, it is the Tigers 3-1-19 leading Sacred Heart 1-8. That's an 11-point lead. So both undefeated teams trailing at quarter time, albeit if it's the same breeze in those locations as it is here, the important factor is who had it in the first quarter.
Well, that's exactly right. I think you don't put too much onus on the score until you get a half-time score, really. So it looks like Dixon back in the ruck for Brighton alongside Sam Venning.
Everybody got
Otis
an opponent
Carthy
at the moment.
And Ricky O'Loughlin Johncock up against Payneham. He hasn't got a big frame, has he, the Payneham ruckman, but he jumps well. Almost get a free kick. Payneham, in fact, they do, and they move it on quickly through Grant Catalano. Out to Jed Spence. Hits up beautifully, that kick. Looking for a 50-metre penalty. Payneham weren't able to get it. They wheel it in quickly in the direction of Hodges. He wasn't able to mark it. Let's see this kick around the corner. Look at that. So his ability to be able to bring the ball back on track. Joseph Christan Zig was very impressive, but again, the Brighton defence holds up strong, Phil.
Yeah, looking for Campbell, but caught behind the ball.
What you've seen already in the first minute of the game, Brighton happy to come this side of the ground out of defence, where Payneham were very disciplined about taking it out the other side, which I would have thought would have been the dead side.
Is the logic you get a bit of shelter from the club rooms?
As in coming this way?
Yeah.
Just harder. Well, you don't want to come this way because if the breeze is pushing to that pocket, it's easier to score from this side of the ground.
Of course.
So defensively, you want to push out the other side of the ground, the dead side of the ground.
So it's more it's not what suits us best, it's what's going to make it harder for the team with the breeze.
It's got the wind.
Gotcha. Yep. It's that extra dimension that you bring, Jacko, with your coaching background. So it's a 14-point lead. Just Payneham side of centre at the moment. No score added from quarter time. Kick around the body, Matty Nunn. Coming in hard with the tackle was Carlin Santillo. That tackle on Tynan Book.
Yeah, it was well taken by Tynan Book. Though he was under a fair bit of pressure there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Sometimes he was tackled so quickly, though, no prior opportunity. Brighton work it. Beautiful handball drill. Comes back to the captain in Carthy. Is kick into space. Will it stay in? No, it won't. Last disposal, which is taking a little while for some to adjust to. Right in front of the interchange gates will be Sam Scrimmager.
Love that name, Scrimmager.
Yep.
Sounds aggressive.
Played for Payneham Norwood Union and no one else but Payneham Norwood Union through his juniors and senior career.
Got black and white blood.
That's it.
Head-eye tackle. Wouldn't think that Tim Dixon would have got a lot of them in his day, but now he switches out to the dead side. That's a good kick. Aren't able to find a loose on the next kick, though, so they're going to come back the same area, and I don't like this kick at all. I don't like that kick at all, Phil. And it's very similar to what we saw in the first quarter, wasn't it? Just a lack of hold the ball up. It ends up with Jed Spence.
I'm not sure how Payneham managed to make that look like they had 3 more players on the field.
And you can see what's also happening. Because of the spare, Jed Spence intelligently didn't want to just kick it to the front of the square, so he ended up kicking it wide, but they're very difficult to score goals from that pocket. It's ended up with Carlin Santillo, who's got a free kick.
So we're about to maybe prove your theory as to why you don't come out defensively this way, because Payneham are going back pretty much with the breeze at their backs.
Yeah, well, there's no flags to speak of, but I would say from here he's got to go left post, just inside the left post. Traditionally for a right footer, you go right post. Let's see what he does. He goes left post, Phil, beautifully, and there it is. Well played, son.
That
Santillo
is his first goal at A-grade level for the Payneham Norwood Union Falcons.
Intelligent player. And again, Phil, I keep labouring the point, but we saw the same thing in the first quarter from the opposition when they came out this side. Quick turnover, goal, exactly the same thing. Don't bring it out this side.
Joined the Falcons last year. Do you want to, I'll give you a chance to guess where he played for before, a club that you love. Let's go down to Lockie Gould.
Yeah, boys, just something to keep in mind is there is injury concern for Brighton. Number 13, Aaron Warner, was having his hip stretched out, doing all kinds of stretches to make sure that he was all right. They think he's going to be okay.
He looks okay. Lockie, he's on the boundary.
Painful having a hip stretched out. And Santillo used to play for St Paul's Old Scholars.
Swoosh.
Swoosh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good pick up then, out of about a Division 6, I think they are, St Paul's.
Yeah.
Brighton have it now. Chalmers, what will he do with this one? Around the corner. It's Payneham going to be first to the footy, though, courtesy of Patrick Sanzo, the veteran. And he's helped to the boundary by Otis Carthy. No one with last disposal, so I think we'll have a boundary throw in. The boundary umpire steps in, the young fella.
Good technique.
Yeah.
Nice long throw.
Dixon versus Kelly. Lachlan Johncock. Dangerous there, wasn't it, Phil? Put his head down.
Now that's interesting. The one field umpire looked at the other. The other field umpire saw the highness of the tackle. The presiding umpire took that advice, provided the free. Love that coordination.
Yeah, bone of contention in the AFL at the moment, those free kicks for head-eye when the player brings that free kick, and that's, I'd like to see a replay of that, but to me it felt like he buried his head into the tackle.
Jack
and for
Francis
me that's play on.
Has the ball and he has a challenge.
No hope from here, Phil.
No hope from here. Yeah, it's hard to see how you can, unless you put some sort of curvature into the kick.
You've almost got to kick a banana from that pocket to get it to come back in against the breeze. It's you're almost, again, better off laying that kick up. That it's a 1 in a million kick from there, I reckon.
Another reason why you don't come down our wing.
Yep.
Let's see what Payneham can do on the kick out.
McKenzie, gone to centre.
That ball is flying today. Admittedly, there's very little gap between the arc and the square.
Well, I think we've yet to see out of about 10, maybe 9 kick-ins, a ball not reach the middle of the ground.
Well, there was one that was actually smothered that Brighton got a shot on that caught us a tad off guard. The shot missed.
Beautiful handball by Otis Carthy there.
Look at this.
John Cock, good footy here from Brighton. Nice little work up into the breeze. Had to go with a little bit of height. He's in front spot though, the big fella Matthew Reid. And I tell you what, you get in front and you get free kicks, but I think that might actually
I'm just wondering if that ball sitting up actually helps the forwards a little bit if they're in front.
If they're in front, absolutely. You need to be in
sort
front.
of hold
into the
your
breeze.
position
Yep.
and then go forward as you need late.
I didn't actually see the free kick to Wellesby. Again, interesting, Phil. How many minutes are we into the quarter?
6.
6 minutes. Matty Nunn coming to the interchange bench. So Wellesby, will he be close enough? Hangs in the air. Great mark by Buckets Rivers. The reason they call him Buckets, Phil, you know why that is?
No, mate.
The size of his hands. He's got hands like buckets. And we saw a good demonstration of that then. Now, again, this is not an easy kick, but the secret
goal
to this
post
kick,
and keep it low.
keep it low. Yep, he's got to keep it low here. I fear that he's gone a little bit close to the man on the mark to be able to do that. Let's see, he's a veteran. Does it nicely and keeps it on track, and that's a good goal into the breeze for Brighton. That it puts them out to 4-6. Now we've seen both sides now kick 1 goal into the breeze.
Yeah,
All the other goals.
It was Rivers who went to the Waratahs. Also spent last year down at Pathaway.
Last 2 years at Pathaway, yeah. Yep.
So who's the powerhouse teams down in the southeast these days?
Oh, Keith has got the best side. When you've got a side that's got 3 200 SANFL players in your team, so Aaron Young, the McGarry medalist, Cameron Craig, straight out of state footy, and Louis Hender. You got a forward, a mid, and a back. They've all played 200 games of senior footy at SANFL.
There's your spine pretty much covered.
The team to beat this year. Should have got a free kick there, Payneham. Nothing to do on the umpire says. Keep it going, and a nice tackle by Brighton's Ricky O'Loughlin Johncock. I'm guessing he has both Johncock and O'Loughlin blood in him, Phil, and is related to the
You
famous...
can possibly assume that from the name. But
yeah, out they come now. Payneham, Joseph Christanzig sits not quite enough on the... See the Brighton player hesitate then about coming out this side, will he? So for me, he's got to play a short on the other side. That player needs to push to the boundary. In the end, he come and block for him, so not a bad play.
Yeah.
Now goes out that side, and we'll get a ball up. Not a bad effort. Brighton player suggesting to the umpire that he might have got a free kick, but the umpire said...
As long as it's a suggestion and not a dissension, that's okay.
I think that's big Matthew Reid. Competes here. Payneham, nice off hands. Ball back into the middle of the ground. Beautiful quick hands from Brighton. Now they come with the left foot. Going to be first to the footy.
That's going to be an effective kick.
Jack Plenty gets it again. He's had plenty of it. Jack, quick kick. That one's not great though, Phil.
Straight to Spence. Open forward line. Falcons are onto it first. A good hand pass. They would have been away. I reckon this is Wagner. He claims it off the boot. And that is the Falcons' 3rd goal.
Yeah, nice left foot snap. Wasn't the best. Probably do we have an award for goal of the day?
Well, we do have our Nearmouth Mouthguards magic moment.
That is it, clearly.
That could be it so far. Early days. So we've had both the leading goal scorers for both clubs. Rivers for Brighton, Wagner for the Falcons. Get into the action.
Injury too for one of the Brighton players coming off the ground now. Doesn't look good.
We'll get,
like a leg injury.
We'll get Lockie onto this one.
Yep.
Dr. Gould.
He's not moving well at all and doesn't look all that happy at all. I'd suggest he will take no further part in this game, Phil. He looks...
doesn't seem to be in a particular hurry. Jack Keynes.
He's been good too.
From Des Moines, Adelaide Uni, Unley and Langhorne Creek most recently.
He's very upset, isn't he? I'd suggest that he must know the extent of that injury, whether he's had previous problems with that or what, I'm not sure. It doesn't look overly troubled walking.
He's moving.
Looks like they've got a good training staff here. Put him on the bench and have a look at it.
Meanwhile, it's Brighton with a rare centre clearance from Carthy, looking in the direction of Blake Hiddens out in the lacrosse club pocket. Looks like Cross is done for the day. A couple of weeks ago, they had a game between Brighton and North Adelaide. It was giving score updates. As you can see the scoreboard from here. But they're done. Plenty of car parking on that side of the oval now. How'd you go finding a park today?
Thanks, Phil. Throwing to me when I had a mouthful of
That's
food.
all right, sorry.
No,
With an irrelevant question as well.
I got one beautifully, and it looks like
Wellesby, nice hand pass. Straight in front. No one on the goal line.
kick.
Goal to Jack Francis. Brighton have
Second goal.
kicked 2 into the breeze. And it's just keeping that buffer from Payneham Norwood Junior.
If I was a betting man, Phil, I'd say Jack Keynes has done a hamstring low down.
Okay.
See, Lockie's there, all over it. He's that close to Jack Keynes, so he could almost give him a massage.
No, you should have seen him. Who was the Scott Lysett for Districts was struggling a bit on Anzac Day. He sat on the bench in the final quarter. Lockie went up and had an unofficial chat, which he reported back on later. So,
Bit of size difference between those two, I would have thought, Phil.
yep. Well, between Lysett and just about everybody else in the facility.
That was actually too high. He missed it too high, but he gave the sling tackle.
No.
Beautifully taken by Frank Packer. He's had a couple of nice touches now, Frank.
So it was a 14-point lead at quarter time. It's 15 points now. Brighton just by not being caught up. We've won the first half of this second quarter.
Oh, just starting to smell the barbecue too here.
Yep.
It was magnificent.
Oh, they were great today. Had an egg and bacon sandwich, and they cooked the egg in the toast.
Oh, yep.
Love that.
Yep. Well, Brighton are always pretty good to us at half time, the food. Hope today's no exception, Phil.
Just hope we're going to... Okay, let's go down to Dr. Gould.
Rightio, yes, boys, you have correctly predicted it. I've had a look, and Jack Keynes, I've had a chat with medical staff. It does look like it is a hamstring for him, unfortunately. They're having a look at it now. He has been out with a hamstring injury in the recent past as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
so
keep an eye on that, Lockie. If they puts an ice bag on it, that's good night and goodbye all over for the day.
Yeah. And the problem is, once you've done one, you know exactly what it's like when you do it again, and you know exactly what you've got to go through to get right again.
Yep. Jack Kelly in the middle of the ground goes long for Payneham. That might get the distance. Gee whiz, it wasn't far away.
Chris Broadbent, the third man up to make sure it was a behind.
Did it well. Out they come this side now. Head in the direction of Dixon. He's been pretty solid. Dixon liked his game. Kicks the ball quite well for a big fella too. That one goes over the head of the players. Their first back to it is Big Buckets Rivers. Looking for O'Loughlin. Couldn't get it. Ends up with Ben Owen Thomas around the corner. Back into that dangerous centre forward position. Now there's a chance. Mightn't have given that one. Beautiful footy over the top. Nice team footy from Payneham. Blake Dodson, the boy from Kingston, part-time, ends up kicking the goal for Payneham.
Well, actually, he's and that's his first goal. We've got a few that are kicking their first goals at A-grade league level because a few of these players are fairly new. Actually from down that part of the world, but just across the border, playing for the Canaiva Lior Cougars.
Yep. Who?
That's his junior club, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Came through Colonel Lake Gardens and now at Payneham. So goal for goal, margin back to 8. 15 minutes gone, so just a little bit of halfway through this second quarter. Game pretty much exactly where we thought it would be. With a few more goals this second quarter than we had in the first. Brighton with the clearance, nicely found Taka. He's been dangerous. Now he puts the low pass, beautifully worked away from his opponent.
Rivers.
A shot for goal, that has to be Rivers. I'm going to call it, it is Rivers. That's his second. And now we've got a couple of contenders for the Neomorph Mouthguards magic moment.
Just slipped the Payneham defender there, didn't he? Just get a chance to see the replay here. He just, number 6 for Payneham, Rudy Savlaki, just not quite able to guard him on the mark. Tu Savalas Telly Savalas. Sorry.
Savalas.
Apologies to Mr. and Mrs. Savalas. The T's silent then, Phil, is it?
I believe so.
Never silent at my house, T. That's the time when everyone's having
Never
a chat.
silent at you, I should say. Anyway, back in the middle. This is stunning. It's opening up a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a nice centre clearance for a goal. Quick response from the Bombers. They've got their 14-point quarter-time buffer back. Nunn's kick is up. It's down. There ain't no rain coming today. But it spills off those hands, and Hodges had a chance. Still picked up. Payneham are getting some very loose players. Wagner says, I couldn't quite get to that.
Could have got a handball over the top, maybe. Hard to see really from here, but gee.
But there's some open spaces for the Falcons forwards. Let's go. Lockie, we'll go to you at the next break. Just let's hold on, because I'm always worried if there's a quick turnover, you get caught. No one really on the mark. That's a long kick to the outer side.
Beautiful left foot kick
That's
into
it.
the
That's
breeze.
into the breeze.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've got a stoppage. Let's go to Lockie.
Yeah, just on that last play, boys, the Payneham bench were fairly convinced he could have given the handball. They were irate down here.
Oh, there you go.
So
Called it right. Didn't want to slam the lad on national TV, but
worldwide TV. Jacko.
if their coach is prepared to, this time they're going to have another crack at it. Same fellow, I reckon. Nick Kelly.
Now with the wind,
should make the distance, I reckon, Phil. Yeah. Now, so if our theory is right, he's probably got to go left post.
Recruit from Angle Vale.
The angle is not too bad here. He kicks it from outside 50, probably 55. No problems with the distance, but again, went to the wrong side of the post. You're going to err there. You got to go to the side that the wind's coming from. So he had to be going further left. Jack Plenty did it nicely. The last kick out finds Finlay Bennett's got a beautiful left foot too. They've got a few left footers, haven't they? Around the corner.
And they're certainly finding their way through. Wellesby is a long way from home.
Yeah.
But into the breeze. Brighton working forward. Rivers, he's your danger man. Fumbled, got pushed in the back. He has these purple patches, Rivers.
Well, I think they're going to need to look at a change there. Maybe Mackenzie's got to go to him.
High kick. They're coming from everywhere. In the end, Carthy almost had the uncontested grab, didn't take it. Felix Scrimmage's bouncing ball finds Dodson in the middle. He crisscrosses the centre square.
Beautifully played.
And on this occasion, Giannini loses his footing. And turnover City just at the second. Can the Falcons make use of it? They've got a mark inside 50. I think this might be Wagner on this occasion. It's not Dodson, he's in the square. I'd say it is Wagner looking to back himself.
Yeah, well, Will Rivers is certainly giving Payneham something to think about in the back half of their ground. It'll be interesting to see whether they make a change there, Phil. As I said, for me, Brad Mackenzie's the most experienced player they've got in the back half of the ground. He should go there. As Wellesby, gee whiz, he's been in the gym, hasn't he, Wellesby? He's cutting up a fair size these days.
Warner's kicked his second. The goals keep coming. And with that, we're down to a one-goal ball game. 6-6 to 5-6, Hansport or scoreboard. We also thank our other sponsors this season. Nearmouth Mouthguards, the magic moment. The best player, which Jacko will be adjudicating. Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance voucher. And of course, the iconic Dartfish beanie. We've got the best team man, the Moseley Bar and Kitchen voucher as well. That'll be in Lockie's hands post-game.
Here they go again. Payneham, Nunn gets it back, gives it and gets it back. The old build the stats routine. Ends up with Felix Scrimmager around the corner, hits the danger spot. Oh, what a mark! That is without question the Makita mark of the day. And it's not Makita as our sponsor though, but
let's have a look at this on the Dartfish replay. Nice grab. The half forward flank, here we go.
Tommy Wagner. Beautiful mark.
Wagner already has the beanie, Archie's Footwear And New Balance voucher. He might just have himself a mouthguard if the Falcons
What he
get
has
up.
a chance to do, Phil, is to level the score. Left footer. Beautiful kick. Now we have game on. Just came out of nowhere. Payneham, kicked the last 3, I would suggest.
Yeah, it's been from 8 to 14. They've kicked a couple of behinds to bring it back to 12, and Wagner's kicked the last 2, which gives him 3 for the day. Let's go down to Lockie Gould.
Boys, you can scrub Jack Key's name off the team list. He's going to take no further part in this one. They went down to the rooms, had it assessed, and have come up and a shake of the head directed at the coach's bench from the trainer. He's out.
So 21 becomes 20.
Yeah, it's a bit of a loss for Brighton, no question. They've got some good tall players, Brighton, haven't they? Every year they seem to be able to find good tall players. He's certainly one that's added something to their side. We're back into the middle. Payneham, first hands on the footy here, goes towards their half-forward line. It's Carlin Santillo. It's first at the footy. Numbers jump on top of him. No one able to get the ball out cleanly, and we'll have a reset. A ball up from the umpire. Pretty important. 4 or 5 minutes left of this half. First hands to Brighton. O'Loughlin looking for it. No one can pick it up cleanly. Kelly. It might have been, but it's a Brighton free kick. They'll go back. And this is a chance to just take your time. Get some 45. Look, they've got plenty of support out wide. I would use that player. Yes, you should have gone there. Blake Higgins, because this long kick is not where you want to be. Because this is what happens. They run the ball out too easy.
Yeah, sits with Jack Hodges. He's looking for Dodson. The cavalry arrives for Brighton.
Nice play.
That's a very well done. I think that was by Broadbent. In the end of stoppage, what are we, 23 minutes gone, so time enough for 1, if not 2 more goals.
Yeah, so you can see what happens here. Phil McKenzie just gets back behind the footy, plays as a free agent. That's why they don't want him locking on to Rivers.
And he's not playing at a true centre half back either. He knows that Brighton like to come down that wing, so he's a little bit biased towards that side. Just trying to pick up Brighton, have a free man at, well, they have 2 free at the defensive 50 arc, top of the key in basketball terms. Sort of the direction the ball is heading. Savala's had it, lost it. Payneham should be able to pick it up. Bit of a don't argue. Well done by Chalmers. It's got to be Brighton ball.
He's got to think his way through this, Phil. That's not a bad kick.
Boundary.
Chalmers to Tarka. 60 out.
Again, he needs to go on the 45, so 13 here needs to lead up at him. Aaron Warner. Going inside
to Dixon.
now.
We will go to Lockie Gould at the next break.
Now, don't go long here. But please, Tim Dixon, do not kick it long to the top of the square. Like that.
Well, no, he's chipped it. He's sandwiched the whole thing. Everyone from Payneham went up. And in the end, a stoppage very quickly, Lockie.
Yeah, the Bombers, they're dropping like flies at the minute. William Cheeseman Dutton, he's gone down into the rooms. He's getting checked out by the physio.
Wow.
Cheesy.
I was about to say, I haven't seen him yet, the emergency in action. John Cock, the kick around the body. If it takes the turn, it's going to be a magical goal. Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cock on the outside of the boot.
Created something out of nothing
So
there, Phil.
we've had a couple of Neomorph magic moments in this second quarter.
Yep. He's been lively. I like the look of this lad.
Yeah. The mark from Wagner and then that little effort from O'Loughlin, John Cock are going to be hard to beat. And Brighton get their noses back in front, having conceded the last couple.
Yeah, it's good get for them late in the quarter, late in the half. You get one into the breeze. Didn't think they worked the ball up that well, to be honest with you. But when you've got a player with some special talent like Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cock, OJ, I'm going to go with OJ for the rest of the game.
Okay.
Ricky's okay
Ricky
with that.
OJ.
And again, the player goes down low with the head, but he gets the reward from the umpire.
Well, what Brighton have shown this quarter, I mean, we always knew you could kick with the breeze, is that it is possible to kick quite a few goals into it.
Yeah, it looks like Wellesby's gone back, Phil. That's what's happened from the front half. From the first quarter, he's now playing in defence. This is good movement of the footy here. Jack Loy, again looking for a short 45, goes to the line. That's Aaron Warner. try and burn the clock here a little bit, Brighton. Not a bad kick for the big fella. Doesn't let you down too often, does he? Why wouldn't you kick it to him? Tim Dixon, he's well on track for best on ground honours. Oh, just did time his run nicely enough. That'll be a miracle goal from there.
Taka
Jake
gave
Taka.
collects a car in the car park, thankfully not mine.
Yeah, Matthew Reid just not quite able to time his leap there with some good defence from Payneham. You'll see Mackenzie kick the ball out again.
Well, if that was the final quarter. You could say that's a handy behind. Takes a 6-point lead to 7.
Yep.
Falcons working it with a long penetrating kick down the eastern wing. It spills out. They're on here. Chris Danzig. It's got to think Campbell from 45. Open goal. Backhands. And the Falcons respond.
Wow.
Great quick transition. Coast to coast play, Payneham.
Well, you could hear Backwell, couldn't you, yelling out, man up 17, going through the middle of the ground. He's an unlikely looking type, Jacob Campbell, but effective kick and much needed goal by Payneham.
Yeah, he's one of the
before half time.
fringe players for the Falcons. Played 18 League 3 reserves last year. This is his second league, having played 3 reserves this year. But he kicked 2 goals last week. That's going to help his cause.
Yeah, well, a nice finish there. Phil puts them back within a point.
Yeah. It's pretty much as even a contest as there can be without the scores being level. That's a huge number from Dixon.
Yeah, Payneham don't compete in the ruck, they make it very easy for them. Now they do end up with first possession of the ball, though. Could have got a free kick there. In fact, they have got a free kick. I reckon it might be Blake Dodson, is it?
28 minutes.
Blake Dodson.
I reckon maybe
Handballs
30
it
seconds
off.
if that to go.
It's a Packer. Goes to the boundary line. Touched. Ball in. Probably going to be our last play of the quarter, I reckon. 28 gone.
Yeah.
They could snag one here. I should be pushing everyone forward. Have a look back behind the footy. It's only Brighton if it's a quick kick. There's no Payneham player in the goal square. Relying on winning, I can hear the siren about to go, I reckon. I hear the clock going.
Oh, the time clock just went. I don't think that's the timekeepers. I think that's the Brighton bench.
Oh, that's me for lunch, is it?
That's your lunch
That's
order.
me lunch call.
Yeah, go and get it yourself. Yeah. We'll go to Lockie at the next stoppage if there is one. There is one. There will be one. Let's go to Lockie.
Free kick's been paid.
Oh.
Hang on, Lockie. Free
Hang
kick's
on.
been paid. If it's going, I think it's going Paynham's way. It is. And wow, these are the ones that kill you right on the death knock. Certainly at the worst, they're going to go level.
I reckon that's
and at
Chris
best-
Danzig who might head. Is Chris Danzig?
Yep. Reminds me of, what's that TV show? Costanzo? What is that TV show?
No, you got
Kramer.
Kramer. Oh, Kramer. Really? Steinfeld.
Steinfeld, yeah. Costanzo. You call it, Phil.
Okay. Well, this is for the lead. I don't think Payneham have led so far this contest. It has the height. Where's it going to land? Over the goal umpire's hat.
Well, that was hilarious. The ball didn't deviate at all to the right-hand side with that air in it. And I got a funny feeling his father is a farmer.
All right, we'll
He
work
kicked it
on
that high 'cause he was looking for rain.
looking for the rain. Let's go down the ground level to Lock and Gould.
William Cheeseman Dutton, he is going to come back onto the ground, boys. They've put him through his paces. He's ready to get started again.
The cheese man.
I was about to say, you wouldn't have wanted to be 2 down at the half. It's only a 3-man bench.
Don't
the
pay the
Adelaide Footy
cheese
League.
man until he gets you to the other
Yeah.
side.
Chris Danzig, he's a mystery man, Jacko. Play HQ, as in for 2024, and nothing beforehand.
Oh,
I don't think you just rock up to
Come-
Payneham Oval and say, I
from
want to
another
play
country.
some footy. Maybe he did go to the country. And that, well, that free kick was right on the siren. And what a game we've had. It really opened up plenty of goals in that second quarter. In fact, we had 15 goals kicked in the game, 4 in the first, 11 in the second quarter. 4 to Brighton, but 7 to Payneham. It is the Falcons 8-6-54, Brighton 7-7-49. In 15 seconds, Jacko, your thoughts on that first half?
A good half of footy. We wanted goals, and goals we got, Phil. We got 15 of them.
As you promised. You promised. You're with Phil Hurden, Sean Jackson, Lockie Gould and the Filming Footy crew. We'll be back shortly. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks, Tough Filming Footy.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house sit when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Do you belong in a role that drives you? In a community that makes you proud? In a team that brings out your best? You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
welcome back. You can see there the Adelaide Hills in the background and a few dogs enjoying a run around on the oval at half time. The umpires are back out. Payneham, Norwood Union and Brighton not too far away. It is the Falcons by 5 points. Some other interesting scores around the other grounds. Port District and Golden Grove. It was Port District by 3 points at quarter time. District did not score in the second quarter. Golden Grove kicked a couple of goals. They now lead by 12 points. Broadview still leads Sacred Heart by 10, so no real gain there by Sacred Heart in the second quarter. Tetrick Alley led St Peter's by 5 at quarter time, still lead by 5 at the half. And Glenunga made up a little bit of ground on Prince Alfred, trailed by 4 goals at quarter time. Now it's Prince Alfred, and if they win that would be the upset of the round. Prince Alfred lead Glenunga by 15 points. Here, well, I guess we got the close one.
Well, not only do we get the close one, Phil, we've got the highest score for a half, which is what you want to see when you go to the footy, isn't it? You want to see goals. And
first time we've had that in any of our broadcast games, I can tell you.
Is that right?
You brought the goals with you, so thank you.
Yeah, just talking to one of the Brighton players, Scotty Nerr, said, gee, their height is impressive, Brighton, isn't it? And they've got some injuries, but they're tall men. They've got plenty of big blokes up front. Will Rivers in the ruck.
Dixon's been impressive.
Dixon, very good.
And I don't have Segal, who's one of their biggest blokes. Tom
Yep.
Wellesby has had a couple of moments up forward, although has been sort of dragged up the ground a little bit more in that second quarter.
Yep, Matthew Reid, 31. Then the other interesting one, Phil, was Tynan Book, number 12. Now, we haven't called his name a lot today, and just seeing him come out now.
Okay, I've got him now. I've got the blue and orange, the aqua and orange shoes.
Yeah.
So I'll call him a bit more now.
Well, I think he was the lad who we gave best player to man of the match probably 3 years ago now.
Okay.
And Norwood picked him up in the middle of the year, and Scotty Nerlick mentioned that he'd had some serious injury issues in his time there and never quite was able to show his best footy, but it's good to see him back playing footy, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, that's it. And sometimes, unfortunately, you can't. It's all about the timing.
Yep.
You lob in a place and you're playing okay, and someone above you gets injured, and then the opportunity is yours, or injury strikes you and that opportunity goes begging. But hopefully he can recover and maybe get another shot down the track. Still looks pretty young.
Yeah, on a sad note, Jack Keynes has pulled that right hamstring, and the second time he's done it, I believe, Phil, we did it in pre-season, so you could see that he was a bit upset as he came off the ground, and nothing more frustrating when you do a soft tissue injury like that. You think you're back, you think you're okay, and then you pull it in the same spot.
There's the ice on it now, as everyone can see.
Yep. So we wish you well, Jack, in your recovery, mate. Hang in there, still very, very early in the season. So he showed some good form early too, Phil.
Yeah. So what's a hammy usually these days? 4 weeks?
Yeah, well, it's the second time he's done it. That's the problem. So
you've got to give it more time than that.
Yeah, whatever he took over, and it depends on how badly you pull it. It's low down. I'd say he'd be at least a month. We'll have a bye coming up, June long weekend. So probably the week after the bye would be his next game, I'd suggest. Yeah,
we've had a few injuries here. We had Jared Cottrove last time we were a fortnight ago. Got injured in, I think, the third quarter, and the ambulance came for him by the time the game had finished. He was in a fair bit of pain.
So for Brighton, for me, this quarter, Phil, I would be putting my coach's hat on for a minute. I would be putting a bit of work into Brad McKenzie behind the ball.
Okay.
I think he's their most experienced, best user of the footy, left foot, fantastic kick. If they allow him to sit back behind the play, like they did in the first quarter, and dictate the play, well, they're going to find it difficult to score. So I think for the coach, Jeremy Cheney, he needs to make a decision on what he does about that. Does he instruct his team to try and play through McKenzie's man, or does he sit a defensive player on McKenzie to try and null his influence? It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, well, it's his Brighton. They trail by 5 points, one kick ball game. But Payneham are coming home with the breeze, and at the moment, based on the reports Lachlan's given us, they have a fresher bench.
Tell you what, we've got some orange boots out there today too. Normally you've got someone with orange boots, you're able to isolate them easily, but I reckon I can see 5 players with orange boots in the Payneham side.
Yep. All right, here comes the third quarter. I hope you're enjoying it. Thanks to Filming Footy and our great sponsors, the Farmers Leap Winery, Nearmouth Mouthguards. We've got the Moseley Bar and Kitchen voucher to give away into the day. Had an 11-goal second quarter after 4 in the first. Let's see if it tightens up after half-time. Oh, Brighton are away. Here's Dixon. Has time to find Tarka. He just needed to be ice cold. Got it back. I think that's Dixon again. Harvey, it is. My apologies. And, yeah, Brighton would have been very upset if they had not got a goal from that opportunity. Harvey's first for the day.
Yep, interestingly enough, Phil, we've got the matchup that we asked for in the second quarter. Now looks like Mackenzie has gone to Rivers. So that would suggest that Rudy Savalas has moved on to someone else.
Let's go Boundary side down to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, boys, Mac Haynes, he was addressing his Payneham troops at half-time. He told them, make sure you keep your head. They're going to get down. They're going to get dirty. Let's play. Let's have some fun.
This is the weakness of Payneham in the ruck, isn't it? It looks like he has a bit of a go.
Well, they always concede the first hit out, but from that, they probably had their share of clearances and centre clearance wins today.
Yeah, well, Tim Dixon's been a powerhouse in the ruck. As I say that, he again taps the ball forward. Payneham end up first with it. Umpire has pulled out a free kick. He'll go Brighton's way.
Venning?
Yep, and I'll go to Sam Venning. He handballs it on quickly. He slips over Otis Carthy, but gets the ball quickly. Looks like they're playing a really direct style of game this quarter that will change to instruction from the first quarter, if you remember.
Taka has absolutely stolen it. Yep. He's dangerous. He'll get one eventually.
That's 3 I can remember down that side, Phil, that he's missed.
By the way, what have they done to the centre square here? I mean, it's been as dry as in February. They must have given it an absolute soaking.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of players trip over, and the longer the day's gone, the bit more mud's appeared. It has been Payneham's day so far.
Ooh.
Now that's straight down the middle to Nunn. He's got Carthy as an opponent. So Falcons are going to bring it down, sort of down the members' side, the club room side. Plenty of black and white at the forward of the ball. Although kudos to Blake Higgins, who is just outnumbered, but not outfought. Creates the stoppage.
Yep. So Lachlan it is that goes unopposed in the ruck. No Payneham player there. Ends up with Jack Francis, and he's been given a free kick. Unlucky not to get a 25 on top of that.
Yeah, you might get beaten in the ruck, but you can't allow those long unopposed taps.
Yeah, we don't have a stand the mark rule in this competition, do we?
Don't believe so.
No,
that's a rushed behind. As much as Brighton want to claim it.
Chalmers again in the vicinity of that. And again, Mackenzie it is who'll do the kicking in duties.
So Brighton back in front. They've led for most of the contest. Payneham got a goal late.
I have to ask Lockie about the breeze on the boundary line. Lockie, is it pushing strong over towards the scoreboard pocket?
Pre-game, so it's pushing down towards that Foodland Brighton side, the scoreboard down there.
Yep, gotcha. Payneham back into the middle now. Out of defence. They go towards the boundary line. I think it's Sam Scrimmager. Goes towards Plenty. Yes, Lockie.
To add as well, I mentioned it was warm pre-game. As the sun's gotten away, it's gotten a lot colder. Just something else to keep in mind.
Well, I'm glad that explains it, because we're not in the sun and we're thinking warm, but yeah, okay.
You want a jumper, Lockie? Is that what you're saying?
No, all right. Thanks, guys.
Cry me a river, mate. Cry me a river if you weren't prepared. It's part of your duties.
I think the budget only stretched to a polo shirt. We'll see what I can do for you during the week,
in your
mate.
third year, mate, you get a jacket.
Yeah. No, we got to look after Lockie. Banjo riders are hard to find.
You see, Hugo's just got the vest on. He hasn't quite graduated to the full jacket yet either.
That's right. He's got to keep those arms free for all those buttons he presses.
Righto.
Not much happening in the middle, you might have gathered, by the way, folks. 3-point lead to the hometown Bombers. who have the breeze. They want to be more than 3 points up at lemon time. Out of bounds. Fairly vacant car lot on the outer side. There must have been all the cross people parking there earlier.
I always laugh when you say lemon time.
It wasn't a thing in your day?
It was orange. Oranges we ate at three-quarter time, not lemons.
Okay.
Imagine sucking on lemons at three-quarter time. What would that do for you?
I just used to read it all. You know, the footy budget used to have the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And they always talk about lemon
Lemon
time in
time.
the footy budget flashbacks.
Okay. Well, Dixon, again, it's like aerial ping pong. It looked like a game of volleyball
Yeah,
there for
that's
a
an
minute.
old saying as well.
Wellesby's gone forward. I wonder whether he can't play anywhere but that end of the ground. O'Loughlin, beautiful smother. Causes a turnover, and we'll see a boundary throw-in.
If he can clunk him, he's got the goal-kicking ability to kick anywhere. At least within the 50-metre arc, probably a little bit beyond it.
Well, it's a nice show of respect from the coach, isn't it, when he puts you down the end where the ball is going to be.
Yep.
Regardless of whether he's playing forward or back. Brighton now hack it quickly and ends up with Wellesby.
To Harvey.
Around the corner, the veteran. No, just can't get it back on the line.
Tucker is still lurking, waiting for that goal to open up for him.
Great kick over the top. It's the lad who kicked the goal just before half-time for Payneham. Yeah, Jacob Campbell. Don't have a lot of height, do they? So this is an interesting kick here. Why would you do that? Oh, because Tynan Book couldn't quite hang on to it and then gets caught tackled. Probably hasn't played a lot of footy lately. Nice tackle from Blake Dodson. Goes inboard. Patrick Sanzo. Probably could have and should have gone to Packer.
It's an element of trust with the debutants, I think.
Oh,
I know. Yeah.
He's had 2 minutes, so he probably wouldn't want to review Tynan Book there.
Yeah, well, Catalano, I'm not sure if he was taken. I just thought his arms were taken out. Yeah. But anyway.
Still a tough kick, Phil. He's going to be kicking from.
He's not going to get a goal from this.
No. So this is where what I like to see him do is, that's not bad, but a bit wide.
A for intent.
Yep.
Something a lot lower for execution.
I want to see them do the old Eddie Hocking there. We'll play 3 Brighton players here. Take the man on the mark. You know, the big.
Yeah, I remember Eddie Hocking did it with aplomb.
Think that you were going to go inside and play on the outside of him.
And you do see it a bit more with the person on the mark having to stand.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do get a bit complacent, or they feel like, hang on, I can't move when they're doing this.
Well sharked Anthony Giannini on the left foot, and again the value of being in front, and again Tynan Book is given away. Shouldn't have mentioned him at half time, Phil. I feel like I put the mockers on the young man.
Giving him the good old commentary curse for sure this third quarter.
That you have to play.
Oh, another 25. Did the memo not go out about umpire appreciation round?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Or do people that just have different opinions about appreciation?
Well, the first thing you want to do, if you want to stamp that out in your footy club, and that kills you, that sort of stuff, is give away a penalty like that for back chat. You should be coming straight to the bench and being replaced, and I can't see that happening.
I mean, that was no given goal down that end.
Chris Broadbent, I think it was, from Brighton. I think find your way to the bench, son. Have a bit of a spell. You've let your team down badly there.
And that's not alone. It hasn't. I'm sure Brighton have had a couple of gifts, but I know Payneham had at least 2 goals gifted to them.
Yep.
And in a close game, let's go boundary side to Lockie. What's happening?
Yeah, I was just listening to that conversation you guys were having about the discipline things. It's something both teams have touched on. The quote I can use is that we've all made mistakes, but we've got to keep our heads here.
Well, someone left theirs in the halftime change rooms.
Anyway.
Sometimes you can win a game of footy, Jacko, and sometimes you can lose it.
Absolutely.
Admittedly, it's not final quarter, and this will be long forgotten about at game's end, probably.
Well, we're 9.5 minutes in, and Brighton are 3 points behind, and they've used the breeze for 9 minutes. So from Payneham perspective, they'd be pretty happy with the way this game is tracking as they come along down the boundary line looking for Jack Hodges. You can't take it. Ends up with Brighton. They're out the back door now. Nice play by Broadbent. Handballs it forward. That technically should be a free kick for last disposal going out of bounds.
I think ruled that he touched it before it went over, I think.
It was a touch,
I
was
think.
it? Okay, fine, no problems.
Well, otherwise you're absolutely spot on.
Good tackle there from Payneham. That was Joseph Costanzo.
Carthy, the last bomber to get off the bottom of the pack. It's going to bounce in his direction now. Quick hands needed, quick hands found. On to Warner. High bomb inside 50. Where are the Crummers? There was one and he was set upon instantly by a couple of Falcons.
Good spoil there from Mackenzie on Rivers.
Jay
They were the
Tucker.
ones he was taken in the second quarter, wasn't he, up the other end of the ground. Giannini lays it off quickly. Go around the corner, Payneham. A free kick again. Gee, the umpires have been busy this quarter with free kicks. I think it's Ty Murphy that's got the footy for Brighton. And he's going to have a shot.
I think this is slightly audacious.
Well, I reckon if you cast your mind back to the end of the second quarter, we saw one kicked from almost the identical spot, Phil.
Yeah, true.
In a ball that didn't deviate, remember? He
That's
kicked
right.
it high and it didn't move. Let's see what happens
Has not
this time.
kicked a goal this season. 1 goal in 16 games last year.
Okay. Ty Murphy does a similar thing, gives it plenty of air. Buckets Rivers is up there. And unfortunately for Brighton supporters, he was unable to take that ball in the big buckets.
3-point deficit reduced to 2. Remember, it is the Bombers with the breeze, and it is still blowy. That is for sure. Payneham go the way we think teams should be progressing it. They've got it to the centre wing pretty well.
It's a beautiful kick into the breeze, though, isn't it?
It
He's
is.
almost reached the centre of the ground into the wind.
I mean, I don't mind the changes to the rules on kick-ins that's come about in recent times.
So where is Rivers now? Is he up at the ruck contest?
I'll go and have a look for you.
I can't see him in the front half. Mackenzie's standing nobody back there in the hole. You can see that. So that's what you don't want if you're a Brighton supporter. You don't want Brad Mackenzie being able to set up without an opponent. That is happy birthday for him. I think Rivers is there.
Yeah, he's in the forward pocket.
Yep. Okay, so there's one other player loose somewhere
He's
for
got
Brighton.
Jordan Shirley, who's on debut as his opponent.
Yeah, and he's taken that ball, Phil, and he's kept that alive for Brighton. Again, here they are. And Mackenzie it is who takes the mark. So it's a game of cat and mouse from a strategic point of view. Will you allow
I didn't
him...
know that was the Paynham's coach nickname.
Cat and mouse. Will you allow Mackenzie to set up like he is? Because this is what happens. That beautiful left foot hugs the boundary and a nice catch there by Paynham's Rudy, was it? Big Rudy Savalas.
Could be.
Kicks long down the line. Looking for Tommy Wagner. Gee whiz, he's almost taken it. Not quite. Umpire lets it play on. Good tackle by Ben Owen Thomas. Good to see him back on the ground, and we'll have a ball up inside, well, almost inside Paynham's forward 50.
It was actually Nick Kelly.
Nick Kelly, was it? Right.
So throw in Lacrosse Club pocket here at Brighton Oval. You can see the tree behind there, well, the tree behind there is blowing still a bit, indicating the breeze is still pretty strong. 13 and a half gone. Payneham have already kicked a goal with it, and they're going to get another
free kick.
And this is where everyone just needs to keep the mouths to themselves. Tommy Wagner, and he's within range from mine. And he's already got 3 goals, including a specky mark.
Yeah, fair bit of arguing going on with the umpire there again. You want to be careful you don't give away another 25 metre
Maybe
penalty.
another 25 and it will be a lay down Messiah. This still requires some navigation. Wagner from 40
Beautiful.
has sprayed. And a 2-point margin becomes 3. We've had 11 goals kicked in the second quarter, and we have had 2 kicked in the third at the 14-minute mark.
The goals have frozen up a bit like us. We're going to go for a barrel, Brighton. Well shark by Harvey. Runs around on his preferred right foot now, straightens up. Looking for Rivers. Where's Mackenzie? He drops what he should have taken there, Rivers. Ends up with Payneham. They go into the middle, change direction. Out here for Francesco Lepois.
Is that what we're going to call him?
Is it Lepois? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the umpire's given away another 25 metres. Well, he hasn't given it away. It's the Brighton player that's given it away. And it just seems to be symptomatic of Brighton.
I would say that's number 7.
Yep.
25 metres. I can't remember a game where there's been that many.
Well, that's why I say there's no at this stage. There's no penalty for giving away a 25 metre. And so they're all getting in on it. And now Payneham are just going to reverse the free kick, I think. Are they?
No, surely not.
No, Giannini it is. It's got the free. I thought Campbell.
This is a big kick, you know. If Payneham can build a buffer in the third quarter, they got 1 foot in the door.
Yep.
To claim their 3rd win of the season. That said, I rode off Brighton 2 weeks ago and had some humble pie for dessert when they did beat Golden Grove. $40 metres out, Jacko. What are the odds, you reckon?
Oh, I think he kicks this. I think Giannini, he's low to the ground. And he does nail that. Beautiful kick. Puts them in front by 9 points.
9 points, yep.
They are 1 goal away from good night, Dick. All over. We can go home. They can kick another one into the breeze. We can shut up shop and have an early minute, Phil.
Let's go Boundary side, Lockie.
Yeah, just been spending some time at the Brighton bench, boys, and Jake Francis has come and got his ankle strapped. It appears that he's rolled his ankle. Back to you guys.
Jack Francis.
And I haven't seen Cheeseman. He might be out there, but I haven't called him yet. So that's 2 that Brighton have down at the moment.
Nice bit of movement this Brighton. John Cock round the corner. RJ goes looking for Rivers, played for the free kick. Umpires lets it go. Ball still alive now. Payneham swoop on it first. Will they transfer the play back that side? They do, and that's a beautiful kick. The Dodson plays on quickly and turns it over though, and again Brighton have another crack at it, lowering the eyes. Looking for Jake Tarker, who is a bee's dick away from having an influence on this game, if you're allowed to say that on international TV.
He's getting to the ball.
Yes.
He's getting hand on the ball.
Important ball up here for Brighton.
He's the debutant, wearing 13 for Payneham, doing pretty well actually, Jordan Shirley. I don't know, if you keep Rivers to 2 goals in a game, you've probably broken even, done your job.
Yep. Important ball up again here for Brighton. And they'll be first to the footy. It comes out the back nicely. And a nice little bit of defence there by Paynham's Jacob Campbell, who's had some good moments in this game, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's I mean, you've got 2 different classes of players out there. You've got the ones with the reputations and you judge them one way, then you see the ones playing their first senior game, and I guess
Taka!
see them in the contest having an effort and doing all right. So this is, we've said he's going to kick a goal at some point today. This is his best chance. We'll go to Lockie after the kick, point or behind. Does the fate of the game rest on this kick? It's a big moment.
Low and very, very heavy is Ben Owen Thomas as he makes his way to the bench. That's Jake Tarker's first for the day, and a well-deserved and much-needed goal for Brighton.
Absolutely. Keeps them within a goal. Let's go, thanks to Police Credit Union, Boundary side, down to Lachlan Gould.
Yeah, you boys are right. That was a massive goal. I was just hanging out at the Brighton bench again. They are pretty happy with how their matchups are looking at the minute.
Just Oliver Cheeseman.
I have heard he is back on the ground, but I haven't seen him myself.
Okay. I can see him. He's in the lacrosse pocket. Okay. That's good, because I wouldn't want Brighton to be without a bench. And they're possibly down 2. They're certainly down 1, with 1 to be seen if he comes back, and they've got the clearance.
Murphy.
We'll go to Lockie in just a tick as we're about to hit time on.
Hanger here, hanger.
Dixon does well just to get around Targa. Centres the ball, only as far as I think Sanzo. Onto Spence. Great get there by Lepoy. Payneham are keeping possession for the moment. They've got it back to the middle. How many centre circles have we got out there today, by the way? I reckon there's 5.
4, at least 4.
3 white, 2 blue, I
It's
reckon.
like one of those Pythagoras theorem things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otis Carthy round the corner. Payneham got the numbers here. Rivets, I'll tell you what, he's put his knee right in young Packer's back. And Taka, now Taka, he's got the radar on it at last. Jake Taka, we thought it would turn at some stage, it has. He's kicked 2 in 2 minutes, and Brighton have now reversed the fortunes for most of the quarter, and poor old Frankie Packer over there.
Just checking the imprint that's been left on his back.
We get a replay of that. No, we've gone a little bit too early.
We've got to watch the Taka show here. He's been threatening to do this all day. And look, and from our angle, you're thinking, did he kick that? But he certainly thought
Is
so.
he a left footer? Because the ones he missed earlier were on the right foot.
Correct. It
Right.
was the other way, so maybe we found the difference. Action station. Sorry, Lockie, I think we were crossing down to you, but got distracted.
I was just going to say, Jack Francis, he is back on the ground. He's on the opposite to the broadcast wing.
Gotcha, okay. So Brighton back to being just down 1, which is Jack Keynes. And a very good 2 to 3 minutes for the Bombers. They're back in front by 3 points.
Yep, and again, it's Payneham that shark the ball here. Number 1, Blake Dobson, tries to handball the ball out. They've earned themselves a free kick here, Payneham. Pretty important forward entry. Jed Spence goes looking. And just not taking the ball. I think it was Hodges.
Yep.
They've still got a second bite of the cherry here. Giannini around the corner. Oh, my godfather, the Payneham supporters are disappointed. He just missed that. He's actually cannon it into the post.
Well,
We appreciate that goal umpire for making the right decision.
still a fair bit of time left in this quarter.
22 gone.
We've gone from Payneham on the verge of almost getting a buffer. You wouldn't think they'd relinquish to pretty much game on. Dixon, some of his work around the ground has been sublime, and he can also bounce the ball. Maybe not 3 times, that was kind of audacious. Recovery pretty good though. Takathy around the body has missed.
I don't think I've ever seen a ruckman take 3 bounces.
We're taking 1 bounce.
3 bounces,
3.
all within 10 metres too, if you don't mind.
Yep,
Gee, he's been good.
he has been good.
Fitting
I
him
think
out.
you might be doing 2 sets of awards, Jacko.
2 sets.
Well, depending on who wins.
Yeah.
You forgot the golden rule. We don't give awards to members of the losers.
losers.
Team. Although we did get stuck. We got stuck Anzac Day. I'll share that in a sec.
Is that the Nathan Buckley rule?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Well, hang on. You were there when we created it. You were one of the originals. Don't you get out of it. Port District had an Anzac Day medal. And we thought, well, let our best player be the Anzac Day medalist. That makes sense. You didn't realise it was only for a Port District player and they lost.
Oh, no.
So a bit of a quick audible, but we got there.
Yep, good shark there by Brighton. Rivers quickly forward. Chalmers again in the action. Again, here he goes. Now he's on the right foot this time. Keeps the ball low. Just not enough, but I'll tell you what, they got numbers there.
John Cock, I think.
Ricky OJ has wheeled that one through, and that's 3 in a row for Brighton. And all of a sudden, they're out to a 9-point advantage and probably feeling a little bit better about it, but I reckon they'd want another 1 or 2 before 3/4 time, Phil.
They've got a lead to protect.
Yep.
It's a little bit like sending an opposition into bat and you've got about 160 to defend.
Yes. Not a bad analogy, although there's no cricket pitch out there today.
Well, and what is sopping wet by the looks of it. There's your Hans Sportal scoreboard.
They're changing the ruck for Payneham now. They've put Jack Hodges into the ruck. I like this.
And
see how he goes.
With the breeze, Brighton kicked the last 3, Jacko.
Yep, and he negates the rack tap and almost gets a kick on himself, but it's Brighton again who bring the ball out. I'd like to see a stat on the clearances. I think they're clearly in front there. Payneham swoop on it in the back half. Players, 3 Brighton players all calling for a free kick for last disposal, and I think technically that should be a free kick, and it's not. Or is it?
Well, it can't be deliberate because the rule doesn't exist in the league, and it doesn't need to because we have the last disposal rule.
We've got the umpires conferring, and yes, well called by the boundary umpire. Good bit of communication there. And is it Ricky OJ? Last goal kicker with the footy. Boundary, Lockie, go. Hang on, hang on. Oh, yes, go on now.
Go,
you go.
Sorry.
Well, they don't look alike, so I don't know how they made that confusion. Sort that out, will you? You're that close to the Brighton bench, you might be on the Brighton bench.
I was about to
He's
say.
been a trainer.
Might have to upgrade Lockie's insurance.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Payneham Norwood Union would feel a little bit under siege. The margin's out to 10.
And in front.
So maybe it's a 180.
Here you go, Payneham now on the centre wing. Had a good quarter, this lad, hasn't he, Ty Murphy?
Yep.
Is he the one that had a shot for goal early in the quarter?
He did. A Plimpton Junior. Spent a bit of time at the bays at Glenelg's. Have a lot of these bombers.
Does kick the ball high, doesn't he? Yeah. Ends up with Mackenzie.
I think on a day like today, you really notice it when you do that. He's going to get the ball again now, but out of bounds, throw in. 26 gone, probably into the last couple of minutes of this third quarter.
We're set for a cracking last quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Yeah, don't go home early, whatever you do.
Have a cup of tea, maybe a coffee, something a little bit stronger. Nip of brandy.
Kicked 4 goals, 5. Payneham 2 goals, 2.
Around the corner, Payneham. One of the few times they've been forward of the centre for a while. Jacob Campbell takes a big risk bringing it back into the corridor. Not sure the sense in that.
So we've had 21 goals kicked this game. 14 have been with the breeze and 7 into the breeze.
Right. That's 2 for 1, Phil.
It is.
Just showing you my maths there.
Yeah, still got it.
So, plenty of numbers around this contest. Players sensing the urgency as the quarter comes to a halt. Or nearly to a halt, I should say. Payneham, Giannini on the boot quickly. Well done, Tynan Book there. Just couldn't quite hang on to it, but was in front spot. Gave himself a chance. Round the corner, Campbell does it nicely. Unfortunately for Payneham, Grant Catalano just couldn't quite get it and ends up with a point for Brighton. So, probably their last chance with the breeze. You'd want to have a crack at this, I reckon. A fast play.
Right down the middle.
Ball's got held up though, Phil. Down the middle wouldn't be a bad play, but there is a Payneham player
Brighton
in the middle.
have a play where they just line everybody up the middle and go, but there's no one in the square. They've actually split coming down the members' side, which means they come home with the breeze if they can get it down there. Chalmers comes in to put pressure on his Payneham opponent, forces the stoppage. Right in front of your filming footy crew, which is Sean Jacko Jackson on a special guest appearance. Phil Herden and Lockie Good on the boundary. James Elias on the cameras. Hugo pushing all the buttons, getting us to air.
Fumble.
Fumble could be costly.
Oh, Phil. Genius.
Tarka's lurking. This is fun and amazing. You and I had the same thought at the same time. Just the point. Margin back out to 11. Three-quarter time probably not too far away.
Yeah, wouldn't be a lot of time on. Come this side of the ground, I'm not sure about the idea of that, Phil. Now it's opened up the corridor nicely for Brighton. If they can take it cleanly, they can't. Payneham again, solid in defence. Patrick Sanzo switches the play now. 24 there for Brighton. Jack Loy tackled well by Payneham. Now they're a chance, Payneham. They're out, number 19. Francesco Lapois goes to Campbell. Oh, it doesn't do it too bad in the end, but Chris Broadbent up to the task and lowers his eyes beautifully to Cardi. Cardi now swings the ball this side. We've got a chance for an overlap here. Get on with it, son. There can't be a lot of time left. Go to the corridor, get on with it too. Why does he keep showing the ball every time he takes a catch? It's beyond me. And that is a very, very good mark. Is that a mark or a free kick?
It's a free kick.
Yeah.
Taka went very high, but very early as we have a look at the Dartfish replay. Yeah, there's the ball. Let's have a look at this.
Oh.
Yeah. Slightly misread the...
It's good to watch, Taka.
I'll tell you what, if there was no breeze, it's probably the mark of the year, but the breeze took it that extra couple of metres. And yeah, when you don't touch it, it's a free kick.
He's like salt and pepper, isn't he, Taka? He's in everything.
Yep, he is.
Good presentation and good mark there for Payneham.
I wonder why they never ever merge salt and pepper into one condiment.
That's Tommy Wagner. That Rivers on the sideline there with the coach. It is. Yep.
Planning strategy for a big final quarter where Brighton will have most likely a 10-point lead to defend. They'd like to get one more, and I reckon it's absolutely line ball. Notice Carthy launches into it.
Wellsby
A cloak
lurking.
here would make it interesting, but not to be. So Brighton are in a far superior position than they looked about 10 minutes ago when they trailed by 9. They kicked 4 goals, 6 in with the breeze. Payneham kicked 2-2 earlier in the quarter into it. It'll be a 10-point margin for the Bombers to defend Payneham with a strengthening breeze by the feel of that. Quick thoughts on the third quarter, Jacko?
Well, it started a bit dour, didn't it, the first 10 minutes? Didn't see a lot of goals being kicked, and we wondered whether it would open up. And open up it did. We got a few goals kicked from probably halfway through the quarter. Much more entertaining finish to the quarter. And, well, with their noses in front by 10 points, Brighton would fancy their chances, but Payneham coming home with a pretty strong breeze. This is set for an absolute ripper, Phil. A ripper!
Okay, we'll be back with that final quarter. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back, final quarter. Let's go boundary side from the huddles with Lockie Gould.
Hear what the Brighton forwards had to say. Obviously very dominant in that quarter, boys. One of the things they were really happy with was when the ball hit the ground after the aerial contest, they looked really dangerous. It's going to be a really exciting last quarter, boys.
Thanks for that, Lockie Gould. Brought to you by Police Credit Union, Phil Hurd and Sean Jackson. Jacko, just before I get your thoughts, some scores around the other grounds. Everything has tightened up pretty much. We got Broadview and Sacred Heart. Broadview lead by 2 points at three-quarter time. Glenunga and Prince Alfred. Glenunga lead by 4 points. Here it's 10 points. Teachwood Galley lead St Peter's by 29, and Golden Grove lead Port District by 28. We'll give you some sort of a ladder at the end of the day. We've got some final scores. How do you think this final quarter is going to pan out?
Well, I think if I'm in the Payneham camp, I'm 10 points down, I've got a fairly strong breeze in my back, I would be asking to try and play this side of the ground as much as possible, off the centre corridor, and try and get the ball away from the other side. So even if Brighton have a kick in, I'd leave that pocket closed out that side and leave it open here to encourage them to bring the ball this side of the ground. I think they've got to put some speed on the game, and mightn't be quite time for a Hail Mary, but in my back pocket I think I'd be thinking about pushing Mackenzie forward. He's a player who can take a catch and he's got a beautiful kick. They've got the breeze. Don't need him behind the footy. I reckon you need him in front of the ball to try and win the game. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And if I'm in the Brighton camp, well, I'm saying, well, we're 10 points up, boys. As you said, sometimes it's money, petrol in the bank, money in the tank, whatever
Runs
it is.
on the board.
Runs on the board. Thank you, Phil. And they do have the lead, but they're going to have to defend extremely well. It did look to me like he was gesturing the players, play the far side of the ground, Brighton. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
How often do we say it? First goal, final quarter.
Tip, let's make a tip, Phil.
I just have this little feeling about, I tip Payneham to win. I just have this little feeling about Brighton. They're in a similar spot with Golden Grove and just found a way. The only difference was Golden Grove finished without a bench, and I'm sure that played a part in it. I'm pretty sure from what Lockie observed, we've only got one player out at the moment. That's Keynes from Brighton. Yep, two Brighton Bomber players walking off under normal steam. Ground's just about clip. Yep, no worries.
To me, Brighton have looked like the better side for most of the day. They're going into a breeze, 10 points up. I'm going to go with Brighton win this one, Phil. From here.
Yeah, 5 more scoring shots. Let's find out how it travels. Ball up in the middle. Rare tap to the Falcons, and we'll go again. Really neutral situation. Kelly the ruckman goes and gets it. He's tackled, and we'll have a tertiary stoppage. And yeah, you get the feeling everyone's going to be set up for a fairly tight start to the quarter. It's a case of almost who's going to break first.
Yeah, I'm just looking for Mackenzie, Phil. I can't see him in the back half of Payneham now.
So Payneham on you with the first inside 50. Brighton's clearance sets a task that Blake Higgins' ball kept running away from him. It's going to be, we'll go to you just a sec, Lockie, because it's an inside 50 free kick, and I don't want to miss something here. And if he's not careful, Higgins, he's going to give away a 25.
Gettable kick from there, Phil. Just put it up on the left-hand post. Breeze will do the rest.
Scrimmager kicks it to the top of the square. There's some big flies. No one can take it. Has umpire seen something?
He has seen something.
I think it's a Brighton free. Yep. Anyway, everyone's moving. Lockie, what have you got for us?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Just listen to the Payneham huddle, or the end of the Payneham huddle. They said, be accountable. 3 and 2, we are in the hunt. 2 and 3, it's a different story. I know you've got this.
Yeah, with other results, which will give you a game's end. 3 and 2 should see Payneham. Well, they're in the 5 now. You don't usually drop out if you win. Carthy's kick is into the car park. There's a car there with its van open. Almost collected a footy. In fact, Grant Catalano has jumped the fence.
Well, that is the danger if you want to work the dead side because of the breeze. A quick kick under pressure can quite often go out of bounds, and that's exactly what happened there. Didn't need that, Brighton. Given a free kick to Payneham.
Assuming this is all time off, while Catalano had to jump the fence twice.
Yeah, almost jumped in the back of that car, didn't he?
Yeah. Shot pass to Nunn. Never ever think those are 15, but of course we've got the wrong angle to work that out. He'll crisscross over a bit. Dixon thump. Brighton should clear.
Yeah, defensively fairly sound there, Brighton. Jack Plenty it was who kicked it towards the boundary line. I think it's Ricky O'Loughlin.
It's very quiet here.
OJ, yeah, it is very quiet. The Brighton crowd haven't got anything up and about yet. I reckon if they can kick the first goal, you'll hear a bit. That's the veteran there, gives it off, ends up with that salt and pepper Chalmers. Now Ty Murphy, oh! He's just pulled it across a little bit, cannoned into the left-hand post. That would have almost,
He thought it was good off the boot, and he wasn't Robinson Crusoe in that. There's that little bit of cross breeze we told you about.
Yeah, 11 points. McKenzie, he's in the back half. We'll be looking for him to go long towards Jack Hodges. He does. He's going to stand up here, Hodges. Ball goes over the top of him and Book. Ends up with Blake Higgins. Almost cannons into the beautiful picket fence here. The timber pickets or...
Nice little mix of the artificial turf and the real grass at the boundary line. I've seen Brighton in not so great nick midway through a season. It's in pretty good nick today, just a touch of mud in a couple of rare spots. Otherwise, pretty good.
Yeah, it shows you they've been putting a bit of water in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Matty Nunn. Good clearance. Long kick. Found a target.
Oh, I thought it was hands in the back, Phil, but not seen or not there. One of the two.
A man who's becoming an absolute forward threat for Payneham Norwood Union, Tom Wagner. 3 goals last week, 3 goals today.
An inside a goal for Payneham if he kicks this.
And that all-important first one. At the 4.5 minute mark.
Beautiful kick.
How good's that?
Beautiful kick.
Wagner has 4. Game on at Brighton Road. The Falcons are within a kick of this one.
Brad McKenzie having a chat there with the coach, trying to work out what they want, whether they're on the same page.
Yeah.
So, 5 points, the margin now to Brighton. Payneham coming home with a breeze and they're only 5 minutes play. What did I say at 3? I think I said Brighton, didn't I, at 3/4 time?
Yeah, probably.
What was I thinking, Phil? I've changed that tip now. We're going to Payneham.
Jacko.
Thank you very much.
You
Centre bounce.
Might need to have 2 written up, I reckon.
Nick Kelly gets hands on that one, follows his work up beautifully, gets it onto the boot, has the aid of the breeze behind him. His forwards behind. Brighton get first look at the cherry. The handball out the back. The umpire has blown his whistle there and paid a sling tackle, I think. So Jack Loy earned himself a free kick deep inside Brighton's defence. They want this ball to come out quickly. They're on the wrong side of the ground as well. So Payneham turnover here would open up the face of the goal. Really important opportunity here for Payneham. They've just got to be able to compete in the air. It's a poor kick though, follows his work up. Oh, he's followed his work up and I reckon he's hurt that Payneham boy's shoulder.
Yeah.
That was a big hit. I'd say he is gone for the day, that hit. Looked like a shoulder to me. Whose free is it?
Sanzo was the player.
Hodges it is, it's got the footy. You get up okay, did he?
Sanzo is up, he's on his haunches. He's not grabbing his shoulder.
Sanzo or Carlin Santillo?
Santillo, my apologies.
Yep. All right, so Jack Hodges with an opportunity to put Payneham in front. Just wants to put this, he's coming off now, Santillo.
Yeah.
Just with a bit of air, that's a beautiful looking kick off the boot. That is a ripper! An absolute ripper to Jackie Hodges. And he puts Payneham in the front for the first time in what seems like a long time. Phil, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, they did lead 20-minute mark of the third quarter, and then Payneham kicked a couple of goals. Tarka kicked 2 in the space of a couple of minutes.
All right, don't correct me when I'm wrong then.
No, but Brighton have led for most of the day because they've had the first use of the breeze.
Yes, I knew something was happening.
For the first time in the final quarter, Payneham have hit the lead, and all that buffer that Brighton had coming into the final stanza has been erased in the first 7 minutes. So just some clinical finishing from both Hodges and Wagner earlier.
Well, it was Nick Kelly in the last centre bounce who got it out. This time, he can't get his hands on the footy. Brighton get first. Now hacked off the ground in the direction of Chalmers. Keeps it alive with a nice handball. And O'Loughlin hurt in the middle of the ground on all
they're
fours.
starting to feel it, the players. Let's go quickly boundary side to Lachlan.
The chat with Kalen Santillo. He's all good. He's just a bit winded.
Okay.
The experience of none now. Clean, beautiful kick. Should have been taken by Jack Hodges, the last goal kicker. Well stolen by Brighton. O'Loughlin. They hug the line here. Good kick. Come at the ball, Wellesby, they say. He doesn't. It ends up with Brighton, though. Number 35. Oh, it's a difficult kick from there. It's a free kick to Payneham, though. No. It looked pretty obvious to me. Scrimmage will win a free kick. He was standing there and collected by Jake Tarker, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So you want to come this side of the ground, son? Not that far side? No, don't want to be over there unless you get a loose player. He did.
Got a one to come back in board too if they want.
Yep. Oh!
That's why it's dangerous. Sanso.
They need a lift from Wellesby, don't they? If they're going to win the game, Brighton, they need Wellesby to give them something in the front half of the ground. Interestingly, the last time they were into the breeze, he played back. This time he's now forward. An opportunity there for Dodson. Couldn't quite take it. They end up with it though, Payneham. Nice footy. Over the top. Here they go. An opportunity to feed the ball over the top. Doesn't. Goes all the way himself. And I reckon that's over the line, Phil. I reckon that's a goal to Payneham. Beautiful kick by Joseph Christanzig. Or he's now, as he's now known at Payneham, Seinfeld. And that is 3 in a row for Payneham?
That's 3 in a row for Payneham, 3-0 in this final quarter. Brighton have kicked one behind, Payneham have kicked 3 goals, 1. That's in the space of 9 minutes. And Brett Brackwell is considering options.
Well, Dixon's come to the bench, Phil, which is interesting. It now means Matthew Reid has gone into the ruck for Brighton. He's been influential, Dixon. I don't think you want him on the bench too long. I don't know what his fitness level's like. He looks like he can run okay. I know we all want to rotate, but it's a pretty
I reckon you might
time.
want to start doing your votes, well, considering your votes anyway, Jacko, on a Falcons perspective. If Brighton come back, well, as they will as soon as I mention it, here they come. It is with Finlay Bennett, wheels around, will drop in the hot spot. Wellesby's lurking, about to lay a tackle, about to get a touch of the ball, and he'll get the free kick. He's off, he dashes, and... Okay.
Wellesby with the tackle on Mackenzie, holding the ball. Said for Brighton to win the game, Wellesby would have to step up. Well, that's a good tackle.
Good call.
He's 25 metres out. Beautiful angle with the breeze.
It is a 7-point margin, so this is not for the lead.
And he is a good kick, Phil. I'll put the house on this.
Not mine, it better be yours. How many have you got?
No problems for Wellesby. Look at that. Straight through the middle. And they're back in the game. Brighton's not over yet. I can't be picking best players on. I don't know who's going to win.
Well, that's when we're getting the team back. So, just talk us through that play for a sec, Jacko.
Yeah, so nice. Well, the drop mark by Payneham was probably the thing that caused them the grief there, and I think they thought they were going to mark it. The ball spilled out. Mackenzie picks it up. Slow to get rid of it. Well tackled by Wellesby, and well, the rest is history. We now have a 1-point game in favour of Payneham. They've still got the breeze for the rest of the quarter, though. Into the ruck, it's Brighton first hands. Giannini on the left, brings it straight down the middle of the ground towards Nunn, and he's taken it. Beautiful catch. Gave away a fair bit of height there, but it was a terrific mark from the experienced player. And, well, he's been pretty good today. I'm not sure he's been Paynham's best. I guess he'd be in contention. I'm trying to find a Paynham player that's been solid all day. I've liked Hodges' game.
Well, if Paynham get up, I've got Tommy Wagner for the Neomouth mouthguard for the clunk he took.
Yep.
in the second quarter.
Matty Nunn, ex-captain of Norwood, just outside 50. Oh, he doesn't hit it just right. In fact, it's a cannon into the post, and just the other side of the post. And I'd like to say it's an important point, but they already had the important point, so now they've got 2 important points, Phil.
Well, better to be in front by 2 than 1.
Nearly 13 minutes gone.
Brighton 12-14, 86. Payneham 13-10, 88. So
that's a mistake from Payneham. Should have closed up on that forward pocket, not allowed them that kick.
And almost a second mistake, but a fumble by Kick not quite on has forced the stoppage. Looks like a boundary throw in.
Yep. Well, this is a crucial ball up too. This is where your game rehearsal, set play rehearsal is really important. Who can take the ball away here from the stoppage? Plenty numbers around the contest. Hard to see anyone taking it cleanly. Goes to Brighton, they hack it out forward. Good play. Almost a free kick. He saw it, the umpire. Well done.
I saw it too, for what it's worth.
Yeah, Matty Reid it was. Got the free kick. Should have fixed a quick handball there to Harvey. Would have been a good play. Unsure what to do. He's going to go long down the line of the square. McKenzie versus Rivers. McKenzie it is. Now.
Probably one that, I mean, if that's been the matchup for most of the day, you'd probably give the points to McKenzie.
Yeah, they haven't actually spent a lot of time on each other. It's alive now, though. Dodson. Cameron. Still Payneham. Can they take this clean? Beautiful spin by Seinfeld. Oh, that's 3 now points. Joseph Kristanzig. Almost able to put that back through the middle. Would have been, cause for celebration as Tim Dixon tries to find his way back onto the ground.
So round 5, Brighton trying to get their second win and go 2-3. Payneham their third win, go through in 2. And
better zone here from Payneham. They've choked that side of the ground. Shouldn't be able to get a loose player here. Gone long, it's gone to the boundary. Let it go, son. Yep, out and full. So a good zone in place. I think that is Kelly with the ball, Phil.
yeah, it looks like Kelly. He's a fair way away,
Doesn't
though.
hit it that well off the boot, but none again. Geez,
Great pass.
Good hands.
Pinpoint
Great
precision.
pass. And that's poor defence from Brighton there. When he kicks it off beautifully to Jed Spence, but when a ball travels 50 metres like that, you want to be able to get someone to the contest. And obviously an experienced player, Matty Nunn, but Brighton should have been able to get someone to be able to provide a contest against him then. And, well, the last 2 forays into the front 50, Nunn has taken 2 marks, Phil.
Yep. And
that's
Payneham
not
have
his
been
go, is
very
it?
good with their set shots in this final quarter. Spence yet to kick a goal for the Falcons this season.
And he has now, Phil. He has now, and he celebrates with the best of them.
Actually, 10 individual goal scorers for Payneham.
Wow.
In their 14 goals. Kristanzig with 2 and Tom Wagner with 4. Good spread.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, not Harrison Viney not playing today. He would normally play deep forward for them. So a bit of trouble now for Brighton. They
have to get the next one.
9 points down. This centre bounce critical. Interesting, did the big fella get back on the ground? Dixon, he didn't. Where is he? It's Reid. He gets it, hits it beautifully.
He's not resting up forward. He's got to be still on the ground. He's still on the bench.
Chalmers.
Oh, no, he's not. He's running on the half-forward flank on the outer side.
Free kick to Taka. Yes, he is. You're right. If he goes 45, Taka, you hit him. He doesn't. Goes down the middle. McKenzie will mark this. Doesn't. He punches it. 2 players there for Brighton. Go at the footy, son. Payneham. Number 19. Flicks it out to Packer. Lowers the eyes. Good contest. Good contest from Carlin Santillo. He's had some pretty important moments in this game. And they managed to relieve a little bit of pressure there, Payneham. Boundary throwing.
9-point lead to Payneham. Brighton need the next one. Francis. Ball comes out. Will be another stoppage. Bombers have gained about 3 metres. Time on. Just over 2 minutes away.
None again around the corner.
Plenty says he was hold on to, and then as soon as his opponent gets it, he makes the tackle.
He's already won a beanie, hasn't he? None this year? Phil? Yes. I reckon I saw him with a beanie, so... It might have been round one.
He won the Moseley.
Won the Moseley, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, Spence won the beanie last week, and... Actually, I reckon Ragnar might have won the beanie last week. Decisions.
Well, Dixon back in the ruck now. Just can't get to it. Reed's there as well. Giannini, first hands on the footy. Francis Lepoix. Good kick under pressure. Jed Spence does it well. Numbers at the front of the contest.
Here we
Great
go.
handball from Santillo. It's over the back to Dodson. Thinks about it. Has Lepoix. He's worked extremely hard off the half-back flank to go forward to get this footy. Go at the ball, son. He ends it up with it. Can he keep it alive? Great pressure from Brighton. Good tackle. Umpire says no prior time.
Blake Higgins in defence,
Wow,
just trying
Lee.
to keep Brighton alive in this game.
Crowd starting to come to its feet now. Phil, we can hear them.
If they don't come to their feet in the next 10 minutes, they won't for the entirety of the match. Payneham a little sneak kick forward. It's about 20 metres out. Escaping and sealing the game, Jack Hodges.
Oh,
That is all she wrote for mine.
Might have just won himself a dartfish beanie, Jack Hodges, for mine.
Hodges, his second. We look at the dartfish replay. It was Nunn who got the kick forward. And this is just a battle of strength up against a book, I think. Won by Hodges, and that is the ton for Payneham. 15-11-101. He's kicked 2. But for mine, Brighton 12-14-86. 15 points. Can't see Brighton with maybe 7 or 8 minutes left coming back from that.
No, I agree with you, Phil. Nice tap work, though. Reed followed his work up, charged out of the centre square. Looked terrific. Goes long. Mackenzie versus... Good pace. Mackenzie versus Rivers. Been a good duel when they've been against each other.
Francis the shot. Unfortunately, behinds aren't going to do it at the moment. 2 goals, 2 is what they trail by as they have to navigate the ball around the netting. And little lad does it well.
Time spent, Phil,
20-47. Been a lot of stoppages in this final quarter, so I think we could see 27-28 minutes.
14 points. Mackenzie with the left, goes long looking for Hodges, pushed in the back, umpire doesn't see it, lets it go, nothing doing. Spills out the back, Brighton have got the numbers. Nice handball, ends up with Jack Chalmers around the corner, heads toward the boundary. Player fell behind the footy, crowd not happy. Goes and remonstrates with Hodges.
Yep.
Now we
did everything except get the grab to Carthy. The snapper needs to be good, and it isn't.
Didn't move at all with the wind, did it?
No.
Just didn't get it quite. But going on behind the ball with Hodges and Chalmers.
Yeah,
Jack Chalmers need to just...
Oliver Cheeseman was in it as well early.
Just need to concentrate on getting the footy now, Brighton. They need to win the game.
Yeah.
Win
This
the
is
fight.
where those gifts given.
Look at that kick from
You
Mackenzie.
pay the credit card bill right now.
Been good, your boy around the corner there. It's a nice kick. Oh, I just couldn't quite
Who's
take
my boy?
it, Dodson. Your boy is number 12, Wagner.
Oh, Wagner. Okay, I'll take him.
Wagon will. Dodson, great handball. Chalmers it is. Open goal. Unselfishly gives it to that man again, Jack Hodges. That's second in a row and third for the match. And what have you got for us, Lockie?
Should have heard the reaction from the Payneham bench. They're embracing. They think they've got this 1-1 now, and they are just about there for mine as well.
19 points. That's brave of you to put that your kahunas
Well,
on the,
he's young. He's
on
still got a reputation.
there.
Unlike us, he's got a reputation to protect.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse on the camera there. Not a lot like about that.
So 1-4 start in games that we haven't seen a lot of blowouts in the Adelaide Footy League across the games. Reminder, it was
how's the kick from Nunn?
I think he's been really good in the final quarter. That's after disposal. That's a little bit of discipline. Both sides have had their moment where they've been lax in that department. Brighton, it's going to cost them time with the ball when they desperately need it, if nothing else.
Look, I apologise now to Matty Nunn for not giving him best on ground. He probably is right up there.
He's probably got his fair share of awards over top. Premiership Captain's Medal.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's already received the Dartfish beanie this year, but if he hasn't apologised, I'm sure he's going to get one. But
actually, that's the other thing, of course.
This is Jack Hodges for 4, mate.
Yeah.
And he's nailed it, I reckon, Phil. He has nailed that for 4. And then goes, rightly so, and over to Jack Chalmers, and just points out.
Says, thank you very much.
I'll kick him, you count him, son. 4 goals. 4 goals.
So now, have you got your prizes worked out?
I have, indeed.
Can you just put...
I haven't got the magic moment on there.
So what I'll do, Jacko, we'll do this live on air. I'll get you just, Lockie, just give me a moment to fill out my section. If you can come up the stairs, and if Jacko, if you can meet Lockie in the club rooms.
We're back in the centre. Reid. Again, Payneham forward. Chalmers, and it's that man again, Hodges, who handballs the ball, keeps it alive. Coming into the game, number 19 this quarter. He finished up with the ball again, Hodges.
Lepoy on debut.
Yeah, on debut, is it? Yeah. He's just got better as the game's gone on. There's the wagon wheel. Over to you.
So.
Made my job easy, Lockie. Young fit lad.
Isn't it good when they're young and enthusiastic?
Wasn't even puffing coming up those stairs.
He's been up about 4 times in the second half. You'd be dialing an ambulance if that was me. Anyway. Yeah, 25 points the margin. Payneham are home next week.
With Matty Nunn on the left foot round the corner. Make it 26 points. It's been an impressive last quarter performance by Payneham. They haven't had the height of Brighton today, but they've played above their height for mine. They've competed well.
Next week, Brighton travel to Caterham Oval and play St Peter's Old Collegians. And the loser of that starts to firm in favouritism as one of the teams that might be relegated this year.
Rivers quickly around the corner. Looking for Dixon. Can he take it? He doesn't, but they still end up with it. Chalmers, I think, has got it. And then onto the left foot. Good defence by Payneham. Well, they concede. The young fella.
Yeah,
with a bit of poise.
You lead by
Mackenzie.
24, 26. You can concede all you want. The score probably doesn't reflect the closeness of the contest today. As a few players cramping up. Next week for the Falcons, it's going to be a fascinating match. They're 3-2. Broadview could also be 3-2 if they beat Sacred Heart, or they'll be 2-3. Yeah, Falcons host Broadview.
This one for the Speedsters. Nunn versus Plenty. Plenty first there. Ends up taking the ball out of bounds. So it's Payneham versus Broadview next week, is it?
Yeah, Payneham versus Broadview.
Brighton, who have they got?
Brighton are travelling to St Peter's.
Should get a win there, Brighton, and get back in the winner's circle.
I reckon St Peter's are being competitive enough. They're going to get a win at some point.
Okay. Giannini on the right foot. That's another one for Payneham. They're out to 18 goals, 12. We wanted goals before the game, Phil, and we've had 30 of them now.
30. We cannot complain.
So I reckon it was 15 at half time, 7-8, and then we've had another 15 in the second half. So
yeah, it's actually been the second and fourth quarters where they've opened up. This quarter, Payneham Norwood Union have kicked 8 goals for.
8 goals for this quarter.
8 goals for.
Wow.
Brighton have kicked 1 goal for.
Wow.
So
You'd have to say that'd be pretty
they've
disappointed
kicked
with the last
Payneham
quarter.
have kicked 15. I reckon I've got this right. Yeah, Payneham have kicked 15 of their 18 with the wind.
Yeah.
That's really good usage of it.
So the defence has been pretty poor this quarter, Brighton, hasn't it?
Well, they're one less on the bench. Couple of players not 100%. It's shown.
Yep. And Jin Innie's worked his way into the game too since half time. It's been really good. That's a good kick out to the pocket and well marked by the wagon wheel again. Tommy Wagner. How many has he kicked, Phil?
He kicked 4, I reckon.
He's kicked 4 as well, has he?
Hang on, just give me a sec. Trying to get some scores, but so much. He's kicked 4. This is for a handful.
Wow. That's a good result in a game where it didn't look like we're going to have too many kick. We've got him and Hodges might end up. Hodges has got 4 as well, or 5?
4.
Left footer. Didn't quite strike it well, but Hodges nearly
See,
marked
there's a lot of players that went down.
Ends up with Campbell. One take player around the corner. Gives it some air. Good spot. Plenty of numbers there for both sides. Brighton desperately trying to work the ball over the line, and in the end, they're good enough to be able to do that. And they'll reset. But time, I'm afraid, is against Brighton. Lockie, what do you got for us?
Yeah, just been down at both benches. Brighton, as you can imagine, quite quiet. I'll come back in a minute.
Got our first final. Sacred Heart remaining unbeaten.
Who have they
defeating Broadviews.
Harvey, don't quite take it. O'Loughlin, John Cock, OJ. Keeps it alive. Good handball out in front of Finlay Bennett. Does it well. Beautiful defence from Payneham, although Brighton good enough to be able to take it quickly, cleanly. Jake Tarker kicks that one on his left foot, Phil. That's at least his second this half.
Third. He kicked 2 in a couple of minutes just to keep Brighton in it.
That's right.
Got another final from Caterer Oval where Teachry Gully have won their second game of the season.
By?
Keep St. Peter's winless.
Margin?
46 points in the end.
Yeah, I think you'll find St. Peter's will fall away badly as the season progresses, Phil. That's my tip.
I think I tipped Saints in that one.
Did a good job to avoid relegation last year by the skin of their teeth.
The one that I'm really interested in, which I'm getting now, and all these games look to have finished, so we're going a little bit...
Right.
We're being a little bit late by the looks.
Kelly versus Reed. Kelly it is that gets hands on the ball first for Payneham. No one able to clear the stoppage. And a bit of a dirty day for Brighton in the end. The margin, as you mentioned a few times, Phil, probably not reflecting, certainly not reflecting the first 3 quarters, but you've got to give credit to Payneham. Their last quarter, 8 goals. Rivers with a chance to take a mark. It's punched away from Mackenzie. Tarker quickly. It's marked this time by Rivers. Again, he gets up quickly. He understands the time of the game it is. I think we saw him kick one in the second quarter from a similar angle where we said he had to keep the ball low. This might be a little bit more obtuse, this angle. It'll be a good kick. He's got to strike this in the middle of the boot, punch it low.
This time 2 weeks ago he had a pressure kick which helped Brighton win a narrow game by 3 points. No pressure here.
Has to kick it hard. He does. Beautiful kick. It's quiet.
Let's go Bandry side to Lockie Gould.
Yeah, you just saw Will Rivers there kick that goal. He ended up with a corky at 3/4 time, so he's certainly worn his heart on his sleeve to run out the game.
All right, so Lockie, he's been developing into the Bandry Riders role.
Bit of byplay between the Brighton runner and the Payneham coach. Not sure what that was about, but
we are the sole game remaining.
Maybe a good advert for why the coach should stick in front of his coach's box, not come up the ground.
Reckon it should be like American football where the coaches get an area and that's where they have to stay.
Yep.
I'll give you 2 more finals in a second. The next break as Brighton go forward on this occasion.
Good take.
Debutant in Shirley. As we'll go down to Lockie in just a sec as the ball rolls out of bounds. Let's go Bandry side, Lachlan Gould.
I did just ask Paynham's head coach what they were having a chat about with the Brighton runner. They didn't give me anything though. He just said, nah, nothing too serious.
Okay.
Tell him to sit back in his box. What's he strutting up and down the boundary line
Not afraid
for
to ask
anyway?
the question, is our young Lockie.
Does he stand in front of his own box? Up in the middle of the
Take
ground,
it.
showboating.
Some coaches. The two other finals, Webb Oval. As we got a final here, get to those in a second. Payneham Norwood Union in a close game. They've ended up 20 points. The victor, and the siren's gone, fellas.
Yep.
Siren's gone. Shake hands, have a beer.
Move on. Bit of feeling in the game at the
I
end
was
of the
about
game.
to say, usually the siren goes and it's all fine.
Yep.
You know, everyone says that. Thanks for the competition. Very competitive game. Obviously a fair bit of spirit in that final quarter, but Payneham will get their third win of the season, which will give them
What's going
some
on
great
over there?
relief. Lockie's out rounding up his players.
He's right there in amongst it, isn't he,
Yeah,
Lockie?
he'll get reported if he's not watched. Careful. Glenunga beat Prince Alfred. So 35 points,
Wow.
12-17 to 8-6. And the final result on the road, Golden Grove beat Port District by 26 points. So the winners today, and we'll come back to this once Lockie's done his interviews. We've got Payneham Union over Brighton by 20, Golden Grove or Port District by 26, Sacred Heart over Broadview by 17, Choo Choo Gully the biggest winners, 46 over St Peters, Glenunga 35 over Prince Alfred. Okay. Thank you for watching. Do thank all our sponsors. We're going to have the presentation of the best on ground, the Neapoth Mouthguards Magic Moment, and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen Best Team Man shortly.
Both teams weighed out for that, do they? No.
No. That's just a case of Lachlan getting his man, getting him. Okay, now where's... Do you remember the first time you did this on the boundary, Jacko, with Payneham Norwood Union? I just ignored you and went straight in, and we had the prizes to ourselves. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll come out after the song, they said.
And
they
came
never
back out,
did.
they?
They never did.
We had
won't be
a
long.
meal at the Moseley, did we? Courtesy of them.
Yeah, I think we enjoyed our time at the Moseley. Lachlan's just handing out the prizes. We'll do the interviews in just a moment. So we've got a lot of teams on 2 and 3, I'm noticing.
Right.
2 undefeated teams. Brighton are 1 and 4. Yeah, so Brighton with that loss. Okay, he's done well, the young man. He's corralled his 3 players. Let's go to Lockie.
Fantastic day today. And I've managed to track down the 3 prize winners. Jack, we're going to start with you. Given best on ground, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Solid effort by the boys. It was a big game, so we got over the line, which is good.
So talk us through that moment, that ginormous specky that you took.
Yeah, I reckon I got pushed into it a bit, so yeah, lucky to get a good ride and hold on to it.
And of course, Brad, given the best team, man, what does this one mean to you guys?
No, it's just a great win by the boys. It was obviously a scrap all day until the last quarter, and we took advantage with the win and had a good win, so it was good.
Thanks, guys. Back to you guys.
Lockie, just let Brad know that he owes me a drink at the Moseley. Just let him know.
Yeah,
that.
off camera. It's okay, Lockie. I told you Jacko would get you during the course of the day. Thanks, Jacko. No, it's been great to have you. So, I've got a ladder, and it's got a bit of a break to it. Shock and Glenunga are 5 and zip. No one's 4 and 1.
Wow.
3 and 2, Port District, Payneham Norwood Union. So depending on percentages.
So Port District lost today, did they?
Port District at 3 and 1 lost to Golden Grove today. Then we've got 4 teams, one of them's in the 5. Golden Grove, Princes, Tea Tree Gully and Broadview at 2 and 3. Brighton drops to 9th at 1 and 4. Spock at SIP and 5, winless and last at the moment. So the top 2 separated, the bottom 2 separated, and what's that? 6 teams, either one above 500 or one below.
Yeah, well, I guess if you'd looked at the start of the year, most people would have said Port District's the clear favourites for this season. So them to lose to Golden Grove maybe vindicates what I said a little bit about Golden Grove having a slow start with the their key forwards being out, now back into the side, I still think Golden Grove are a bit of a smoky.
Yep.
And having beaten Port Districts, was that at Golden Grove? Or
that was at Districts. That was at Largs.
So twice now when they've been challenged at Largs against Glenunga, Anzac Day, big crowd, and against Golden Grove today they've lost.
Yep.
And that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt Port Districts.
Absolutely.
They're not playing to their talent at the moment, I wouldn't have thought.
But are either sitting third or fourth. So interesting games next week as we separate. We get our crew as Lockie joins us. Golden Grove host Glenunga. St. Peter's and Brighton, the loser of that's going to be in a bit of strife, I reckon. Sacred Heart and Port District, that's at the middle school. That's 2 top 4 teams, game of the round for mine.
Yeah. Yep.
At the middle school. Payneham and Broadview, 2 near neighbours in that logjam. And the Stream team game will be 2 teams at 2 and 3. That'll be up at Pertaringa, up at Tea Tree Gully. Pack your passport for that, Lockie. Tea Tree Gully and Princess. Lockie Gould joins us as we're having a look at the Dartfish highlights. And fair to say, Lockie, that there were quite a few today.
Yeah, they were. It was a fantastic game of football. I don't envy you guys having to pick that magic moment. That was fantastic. What a game of footy.
Jack Wagner made it easy with that clunk.
What about the courage of Lockie, though? He's gone through the day with just a shirt on.
Yep.
You've got to admire the man. He's not even shivering. We're up in our jackets and we're freezing. I've got frostbite on the fingers and toes, and you're just soldiering on, Lockie. What's the secret? Thermal underwear?
No, I went to England. I guess I never adjusted back.
You spent the morning at Noarlunga where you would be as equally as cool, I'm sure. Might be just about time to wrap it up. We've given you the final scores. We've given you the ladder. We've got some highlights. How long for the highlights? Because we know there's a lot. How many have you given us, Hugo? He's given us half an hour of highlights. We've got to keep talking to him.
Well, there's the man of the match, Jack Hodges.
Yeah. This, I assume, is the second quarter? No, first or third. This is where the game was still anyone's.
Anthony Giannini. What did he end up with, Phil? How many goals? 2?
Yeah, let me look it up for you. Hang on.
Sorry, I'd like to put you under pressure.
That's all right. I miss all that.
I will say down there at the end of the game, there was certainly no love lost being in the middle of those huddles. They were shouting all kinds of things at each other.
Even after the match.
Why was the Payneham coach so far up the ground?
I didn't ask him that. I didn't get around to that, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I don't know what I'll tell you guys off air what he actually told me around the argument. It's probably not appropriate.
Righto. Yeah, no love lost here today.
Footy after hours.
Well, it was umpire appreciation round. It wasn't opponent appreciation round.
And the umpiring today was interesting. I mean, just the number of 25s that were given and how undisciplined some of the teams were in what was, for most of the day, a tight game.
Yeah, I think it's something that you'd have to address if you were Brett Backwell during the week. I mean, if you allow that to fester, blokes can give 25-metre penalties away willy-nilly and there's no...
dear. See, that was a key mark. I didn't pick it up that Tarka had gone up early. Willsby had actually taken the mark and was going to be well within range. And they're into the final quarter. Brighton have an 11-point lead. And Payneham just went bang. Their set shot kicking from long distance was exceptional.
Well, 2 key forwards that kicked 4 goals each, didn't they?
Yeah.
2 key forwards.
And your question on Genie, I have him for 1, but I am short a Payneham goal kicker because I was a bit busy late. And this is the point where Payneham, they made their move, but I don't think Brighton kicked a goal after.
Well, when you talk about where the game was won or lost, 2 Payneham forwards are able to kick, the 2 key forwards are able to kick 4 goals each. At the other end of the ground for Brighton, Will Rivers certainly presented and worked hard all day, but Wellesley not able to exert his influence all day. It did spend a quarter in the back half of the ground, but perhaps didn't have quite the opportunities the Payneham boys were able to get.
3-point margin.
If you're Brighton, how frustrated are you that you drifted out of that game?
Oh, very. I think you'd be, Brett Backwell, it was a pivotal game in the context of the season, and to see them wilt like they did in the last quarter. Let's not forget, Payneham kicked 8 in the last quarter. They'd be disappointed. They'd be disappointed. At least 8, wasn't it? Maybe more.
No, Payneham are possibly the best finishers in the comp.
Right.
They had a close game against Golden Grove that they kicked 9 unanswered in the final quarter. So Seems to be a decent level of fitness there. Twice is a habit, 3 times maybe a trend.
Well, the conditions, probably favour Brighton. They had the bigger side, taller side.
And Hodges was good.
Certainly had clean hand in the ruck, didn't they, for most of the day. 25, played pretty solid game, Dixon, for Brighton. But, yeah, well, this goes to show you never know. Good last quarter from Payneham with the breeze. And
with that was Giannini kicking the 18th goal that I saw. He did have 2.
2, yeah. Yeah.
Well, after all this, it became a bit academic.
The highlights are actually longer than the game, you'll find, watching this.
Well, it's just nice to have a good package. Tarka kicked another one. He ended up with 3.
Going, though.
He was a busy bee, that lad.
Who would have thought?
What a pleasure to be involved with such a good game.
What's our overtime rate?
Oh, look, I'll tell you what the highlight for me today was. James survived all day with just shorts on.
Yeah.
And Lockie just survived all day with a T-shirt. And the non-highlight was, I've got pants and a jacket on and I've been freezing all day.
All right, the highlights are done. I think it's about time that we're done because we're hitting 5 o'clock. Congratulations to Payneham Union. Brighton live to fight another day. Lockie, any final thoughts from yourself on your day at the footy?
No, just a fantastic game to be involved with, and it's an amazing opportunity that you guys have given me. So thank you, and congratulations again to Payneham.
And Jacko, final words from yourself. Welcome back.
Great to be back, Phil. Great to be back. Footy was the winner today, but gee, I was a close second. Hey,
well, you predicted it. I've been to so many games where teams couldn't kick straight, low scores. You said, we're going to have a lot of goals today. And I thought, yeah, right. And sure enough, Jacko won, Phil nil, as it's always been. Great to have you. Let this not be the last time.
Thanks, Phil. Good to see you again.
Alrighty, thanks also to Hugo, our producer, James with the shorts on camera, Elias as well. I'm not sure what Elias is wearing. I think he's more rugged up. And of course, John Douglas, all our Filming Footy family. I'm Phil Herden saying thanks for joining us from Brighton. It was a great day to be a Falcon. The C's won by 85, the B's by 53, and the A's storming home to win by 20. We'll be back next week from Pertaringo, where Tea Gully and Prince Alfred Old Collegians, 2 teams at 2 and 3. Lockheads. Until then, this has been the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.